Everybody get hype. We're almost at episode 0. Almost about to get it started.
Pretty excited. I don't know.
Yeah, my name is Stephan though, and I am joined today by the usual crew. Oh, he's already introduced himself. That's Knockern.
Yes.
And we also have.
I'm introducing myself. My bad. It's Tim. Me. That's me.
I keyed you in, Tim. You missed it. And yeah, today we will be going over our personal updates, doing a quick rank surprise this week that we were supposed to do last week. This is definitely whatever. Anime, manga, news, and then our weekly anime updates for the week. So just like we do every week. Knockern, if you want to start us off with your personal updates.
Oh, this week's been kind of slow, I'm not gonna lie, but Blood of Zeus came out on Netflix. I'm not sure if we should consider it an anime. I mean, okay, Netflix considers it an anime, so I'm gonna consider it
for
an
our
anime.
purposes, it is anime aside. But you can feel free to talk about it.
Okay. Well, I think it's by the same people that made Castlevania, because it has like that same art style, but I feel like the animation, I think the anime is worse overall, but I think it's still really, really good because Castlevania was great, like this is still really good, but it's exactly what you think it is. Blood of Zeus, just by the title, you can tell it's going to be about Zeus and the Greek gods, and there's going to be a kid, and like, it's basically like, like
it could be a kid.
I mean, like whatever like you picture in your head about the Blood of Zeus is probably what you're gonna get.
See, when you said Blood of Zeus, absolutely nothing came to my head. So I don't know if it's as obvious as you're making
honestly,
it sound.
I was just thinking, that's an interesting name, I
really?
guess.
Oh
yeah.
wow, hold on. When I thought of Blood of Zeus, I thought it was gonna be a kid, Blood of Zeus, like it's gonna be Zeus's kid. And it's gonna be about his legend.
I see what you're getting that from. Okay.
So is this like real? Like, is it real Greek mythology or?
Oh no, it's completely made up. But like, it's.
I mean, all I mean, like is it like made up, or is it like real characters?
It's like no, there's like okay, so there's like it's pretty much it's Greek mythology, but the events of the Greek mythology is fake. But like, it's set in Greece or like with the Greece. I don't think it's set in like
Mount Olympus.
Yeah, there's like that. There's like there's Hades, there's Zeus, there's an underworld, there's Titans, there's giants, there's all of that. So it's pretty much like what you think it is, but it's like done really well, I guess. Okay. I will say the animation isn't as good as Castlevania, but it's still good nevertheless. I felt like they put more love into Castlevania than this show, which is a shame because I feel like this show can become really great. I'm actually looking forward to I feel like this it had a pretty good conclusion, but I feel like it was kind of like to test the waters like Castlevania did. And I feel like if it becomes really popular, they'll have a season 2 and a season 3. So, because it only has 8 episodes, but it was a pretty good watch if I say so myself. So yeah, that's that. And then the second thing I've been doing, I've been reading a lot of isekais, like a lot, because I've been behind.
Why would you do this to yourself?
So I don't know. I really don't know.
Why are you reading the same thing multiple times? There's just
no
reason.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, okay. Sometimes they have a twist. Like sometimes the main character is really edgy.
They'll have a twist.
Like sometimes instead of being reincarnated as a different person, he gets reincarnated as himself, or he goes back in time. Sometimes the whole
that's not even
classroom.
Isekai then at that point, isn't that just like a time travel story?
Nah, because sometimes he would isekai into the world, right? And then he'll beat the demon lord, and then he'll die, and then he'll reincarnate as himself at the beginning of his isekai journey. Before he went
I've seen that a couple times. You've seen
that
Tim knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What show or what manga do you know?
Oh, there's a lot. There's like 5 of them that's like that.
Yeah,
so
I was thinking of one specific one, but I don't remember what the title is.
Yeah, they're like this kind of literally just blurs into one. Or like sometimes instead of the main character that gets transported, it's like him and the classroom. Like there's like several people from the classroom or all the classroom.
Oh, I've seen seen that one. Too. Seen that type too.
Yep. Sometimes the
Not gonna do any of these shows stand out. Do any of them? Do any of them you think are significantly better than the rest? Or
okay,
or
it's bad because I'm pretty sure some of them are really good, but they're just blur into one. So I couldn't even tell you the name of it, even if I wanted to, because like they're just so generic. But some of them are good generic. Like they're really well made generic isekais.
Comfort
But,
food,
like,
we call that.
yes, it's like
Something like that.
it's junk. I mean, it's pretty much junk. It's like the junk food of anime. Like it's yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's essentially all I've been doing. Really, I haven't really been doing. I mean, I guess I've been like doing stuff with my PC, but that's not really anime related. So yeah.
Yeah, you almost got that thing set up, right?
Almost.
Or-
Almost. I got two
Not-
parts.
Not actually, but yeah, I guess you have to put it all together and get
Yeah.
the software started.
Y'all can finally see my face in like a week or two, man. I'm kind of excited.
Oh, man. It's so unfortunate for them. I feel bad for them.
Dang. Listen.
Just kidding, just
this
kidding.
slander.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Dang.
Dang, you're gonna make me seem like I'm ugly. That's crazy.
I mean, hey, let the audience judge for themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, whatever.
Absolutely
Whatever.
savage.
Whatever. You got anything else to say, Stephan? You got any updates that I can
I'm
roast
done,
you
I'm
about?
sorry.
Alright, hold on. Anyway, that's my news done. Anybody else got any news?
I feel bad, but I'll segue into my PC from your PC.
Uh-huh.
So mine is basically the better version of his, and mine's already done.
I slow down.
So welcome to the world of 1080p. All of you looking at me out there. If you saw any of the previous material, it was not this crisp, and it's only getting crisper as I learn how to use the settings properly. So keep that in mind. But yeah, and with this PC, I've updated my anime playlist, so I now have 510 anime openings, endings, and OSTs, all on my computer here. Only stuff that
Solid number.
matters.
Solid
I'm not putting a
number.
bunch of filler on there. It's all good stuff. So, you know, if you need some anime music, I can't give it to you because that's probably illegal. But ask me and I can tell you where to get it from.
Which also
that-
may be illegal, but you know,
Which also
we
may
can
be
hear
illegal.
that.
but
I mean, you
different.
could just make a YouTube playlist and put it on our channel. We could do
No.
that.
I will not be doing that. 510
Yeah,
songs.
let's
Yeah,
not, let's not
Doing
do
it
that.
once was hard enough.
We could do it slowly. Like, oh, this is really good. Let's put it in the playlist. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if people care.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of good anime music from this season. Speaking of that, I put like 15 different songs from this season. I was like, man, there's a lot of good stuff
15.
out there. Yeah, hey, it's a good ass season.
Yeah, there are a lot of good stuff, a lot of good music this season. So
Oh boy.
Anyways, straight from that, we're gonna go into our quick rank for the week. Our first quick rank. So let me explain how this works. Each week during the podcast, we're gonna select a different show. Each of us is gonna give a quick rank on that show on a score from 1 to 10, and we're gonna give a couple bullet points about what we think about it. And then in a later episode thing coming out this week, you'll get to hear our full in-depth discussion and review of the series. Our quick rank for this week is Darling in the FRANXX. My opinion of Darling in the FRANXX was it was a 8.5 out of 10. Realistic characters with flaws. Realistic characters with flaws in an interesting world. Highly overhated ending. It's not good, but it's not as bad as people say it is. 10 out of 10 OPs and EDs. Tim, what was your opinion of Darling in the FRANXX?
all right, so the score I gave Darling in the FRANXX was a 5.2 out of 10. And my opinions of the show is it's like a firework that look really cool, and you're setting it up, you're getting ready to have a great time. You're like, oh man, this is gonna pop off, it's great. And then it has like different parts to it, and it's like shooting off, and like all the parts are like going off, and you're ready for the finale, and then it just fizzes out, and then like, you know, falls into the ground, and then everybody's disappointed. And that's what I think of Darling in the FRANXX. So
Oh man. Literally, okay, so I rated it a 6.5. And the reason why I rated 6.5 is because I agree with Tim's opinions all the way. The only thing is that I kind of really like the opening and endings, and the animation was really good. But to me, the ending, like ending couple episodes, were pretty trash in my opinion. And the first half was pretty mid. And the comparisons to Evangelion was like so jarring that it put me off the show. Yes, and it's pretty meh. That's my review.
Well, I know I have a lot to say, but that's not
same.
for this podcast.
I definitely do too.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's an uninterrupted review. So if you want to hear about our own opinions and discussions on this, look forward to another video coming to YouTube. I don't know what we put this on. YouTube later this week. And that has been our quick rank of Darling in the Franxx for the week. And we're gonna roll straight into our anime and manga news. Tim, what do you got for us?
All right, so some very exciting news. Just found out that Kaguya-sama Love is War getting a third season. I feel like that was probably inevitable.
So
very popular
correct me
show.
here. Did they not announce a third season at the end of the second? Because I could have sworn there was a third season announced.
I don't actually.
But I guess if it's news here, then they probably didn't, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think they did. Just assuming, because like it was a pretty big deal when this third season just kind of got like confirmed. So I don't think they announced it right at the end of the second season. But I mean, it's also getting an OVA. I mean, that's not as exciting as the third season itself. But yeah, if you've at all seen any of this show, you know how good it is. If you've read the manga, you know how good the story continues to be. So I'm excited. I think we're all excited for a new season to come out. So yeah, looking forward to that whenever that gets dropped. I don't think it has a date yet. Just we know that it's coming at some point. So.
Probably 2021 at this point, right?
Yeah, I think okay. It looks like the OVA is coming out next year, so hopefully we can hope for the third season to come out next year as well. But you know, we're just excited that there's gonna be a third season. So
yeah,
I hope the whole third season is just you centric, just all about you. That's the only person I care about anymore.
Well, I mean, in the manga, he's been a focus. That's for sure.
The spoilers.
Oh no! Of course, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm definitely not gonna spoil it. But he's definitely had like his focus, like in the manga, in story elements to come. But you know, I'm not. Once again, no spoilers. No spoilers. We don't do that. We don't do those here.
Alright, okay, hold on.
At least not in this part. Like when we talk about the shows that we're talking about, we'll spoil stuff. But not right now. Yeah. There's no spoilers for that. Not based off the manga.
Alright, okay.
Well, Knocker, what else is getting another season?
So we got a New World Trigger. Okay, so like that's coming out on January 9th. Low-key, I didn't really know it was coming out next season. I mean, okay, to be fair, I think the show has a pretty good like pace when it came out, but it's like I think the show's alright. I think it's alright. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it.
So the show, the first season was 2014 and the second was 2015. Is it surprising that it took 5 years for them to make another season? Or
okay, so I would love to say it was surprising. I mean, it wasn't surprising, but like I think it was surprising because I didn't think it was gonna get another season after the last one that came out. Because
I was gonna say, what's more surprising, that the distance between the first and second season, or the fact that there is a second season?
Yeah, I was like, damn, there's a second season for this. Wow.
I think people like World Trigger. I haven't seen World Trigger, but I think people like
me
World
neither.
Trigger,
I've never
right?
seen it either.
Okay, I've seen it. I mean, it's interesting. Like the concept is interesting. I just think it hasn't been executed as well as I wished it did. Like the whole thing is that like I think one day like there's like a gate comes out and there's a bunch of monsters from a different like dimension or world or whatever. And that they have like,
wow, that is so unique. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Like the main characters can only use it by using certain weapons, and like the main character.
Wow, that is
basic.
so unique. I've never heard that before.
It's pretty
Holy.
like it's pretty.
I'm gonna catch up. Maybe. Hold up. How much time do we got? Oh, wait. Attack on Titan will have started by then. I won't be catching up. I'm sorry.
You won't be catching up on anything.
I'll be doing an Attack on Titan rewatch again. I won't have time for anything else.
Wait. How many episodes is this show?
It's like 100 and something. I remember. Is it 100 something?
Oh my!
I remember
I'm looking at it, and there's 73 episodes in season 1.
Yeah. There was a lot of
I did not know it was that long of a show.
Yeah, it was a long show. It was like
holy moly!
It was like Black Clover, kind of, in terms of like length. Yeah, it was long.
Okay.
It was super long.
I mean, Black Clover is a lot longer than that now.
I mean, yeah.
That just confirmed that I am never watching that. 73 episodes in that first season.
I definitely thought it was less. I might even have to second guess.
Didn't Perion make
the
this?
promise I just made to watch it.
I feel like Perion would be the show. Oh no, Toei made this. Yeah, Toei made this. Okay. Either way,
Toei
I'm
Animation.
lucky for
famous
y'all.
animation studio right there.
Either way,
Infamous.
Yes, infamous might be the right word. I mean, yeah, like I've caught up, but like I need a refresher, obviously. But I can watch the first few episodes and tell you if it's good or not. But
I mean, at this point, even if the first 3 episodes are exceptional, for me watching the other 74,
the other 70 episodes, nah, that's not gonna happen probably. Especially if you're saying that first season was just like okay, like if it's not like a standout show, I'm not gonna waste my time watching 70 episodes of a show just so I can catch up for the second season that also may not be good.
I mean, it has like interesting character designs, and like I kind of like the dynamic that it has, but I just feel like every concept that it was trying to make just didn't hit, in my opinion. Okay, that's a negative. Anyways, that's all I had to say about World Trigger. Watch it if you want to, but if you like World Trigger, you know exactly what you're getting into. If you haven't watched World Trigger, it's very shonen-y, so if you like that sort of show, you should watch it. If you don't, then you can move on. You're not really missing too much. Onto that, Stephan, you got any news?
A quick update for all of you gamers out there. Crunchyroll, Netflix, and now Funimation app will all be available on PS5 at launch.
Ooh.
And they'll also be available on the Xbox because everything is backwards compatible on the Xbox. Come on. You should just get that one. I don't know why you were sitting here waiting for PS5 news in the first place.
I mean, I'm kind of glad. Could you imagine?
You're gonna ostracize yourself with like a whole group of people by crapping on PS5, man. Because there are some people.
Hey. I'm pretty sure PS5 is right now a better viewed console than Xbox at the current moment.
Oh, is it? How about in this podcast? Does anyone in this podcast care about the PS5?
I do.
I care about the PS5.
Stephanie, I think I'm not gonna get it, but I care about it.
If you're not gonna get it, then you can't have an opinion.
I mean, okay, I won't get it on launch. I might get it eventually. I mean, it like when I got my PS4, I got that like a year after it came out. I mean, maybe I'll get a PS5 a year after it came out. Probably won't because I don't play my PS4 really anymore, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be into playing the PS5. But
I'm not targeting any hate towards the PlayStation gang. It's just that they're wrong. But it's
okay. Yeah, that
people
sounds
are wrong
like,
about a lot of things.
Sounds like hate.
People are wrong about a lot of things.
Yo, listen. Okay, Tim. If you had a choice between picking an Xbox Series X,
all right. I think we should probably move on before we start burning any more bridges. I feel like we should move on before we start burning bridges here.
I mean, Stephan already fighting over the game consoles. Like, he's an Xbox fan, and I'm a PlayStation 5 fan. So.
I mean, I'm just letting my opinion be known. All right, I'm just letting people know what's the right opinion. That's what this show is about. It's about the right opinion. We talk about the news that matters. We skip all the shit that doesn't. We talk about the consoles that matter. But I'm talking about PS5 just because I wanted to throw him a bone. That's all it is.
A bone.
All right. Oh man. How about we talk about the actual fact? Like the actual news that they're gonna be on there and not you just crapping on PS5.
Well, here's the rest of the news that matters to us, so it should matter to you. Go ahead, Knocker. Finish us off here.
So we've got there's a bunch of shows that Netflix is gonna release soon next year. So we've got Be the Beginning season 2, right? We got the best of all, Baki the Ogre. We have Godzilla. We got Thus Spoke Kisabe Rohan, which is basically a spin-off of part of Diamonds Unbreakable. The guy with the stand. Okay, spoiler alert.
No spoilers, dude. What the heck?
You're right.
Did you just say no spoilers?
Can you explain this guy without spoilers? I don't even know what this is.
Okay, it's basically a spin-off of a side character. One of the main character, like Squad. It's a side story about him and his like
from JoJo Part 4, right? Diamonds
Part 4. Yeah, the guy who hates his car.
Yeah.
Being dissed at. Yeah.
Wait, Part 4?
Part 4, yeah. That's the I'm talking about. It's after Jotaro.
Oh, so have I gotten there? I haven't gotten
there.
No,
you haven't gotten there. Okay. You gave up at that arc. Yeah.
For good reason.
Disgusting. And then we have High Rise Invasion, basically. I mean, personally, out of all the shows that we got here, I'm the most excited about Baki. I'm a little excited.
Also, I before you continue, I just want to make a note to say that this isn't the exhaustive list.
Extensive.
These are just the shows that kind of stood out to us that we may have some kind of interest in. Because there's more shows. There's a freaking Pacific Rim anime apparently that's coming out, but ain't nobody trying to watch that.
That's the one I care about the most out of all these other shows that have been mentioned is the Pacific Rim anime.
Oh, yeah, because of the CG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it CG?
It's
Yeah,
CG.
CG. It's all CG. So
I guess I don't care
continue
about
not
any of these shows again.
Yeah, hold on. I mean, I remember the beginning. It was actually relatively decent when I watched it. Remember, Tim? We watched it.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch the second season. That's for sure.
But Baki the ogre, it's the final arc of like the main storyline of Baki's it's the main arc. It's the last arc of like this. Like there's different Bakis and different like part of the story, but this is like the main one, and this is like the final like arc, the conclusion to the Baki series that we've seen on Netflix, apart from season 1. So it's like it's the big boy season. I'm so excited. Baki is probably one of the most underrated shows on Netflix, or like
Is Baki
in general.
Is Baki like gonna be one of those like Fate / JoJo shows that just keep having continuations?
Oh no! It's like okay. Baki's a long show. Basically, it's the main story is just about this guy that wants to beat his father, right? But then like there's so much in it. Like there's like he fights so many people. Even like just okay, I can't spoil too much, but he just keeps fighting. This George is basically just a fighting galore.
You can't spoil anything, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like he'll fight his father. He'll fight a fucking like dinosaur. He'll fight like I don't know, like he'll fight an ancient man. He'll fight the best boxing person in the world. I don't know. He just fights everybody. Anybody that wants to fight him, he'll fight. So like this show can go on for a long time. But this is like this Netflix show is doing the main story, and in the main story, like he's gonna like the final arc is like next year, which is really cool. Baki has this like weird magic where it's like this just the craziness. The craziness just makes it so.
Is it literal
good.
magic, or are you talking about
like the feeling in it. Like
I wouldn't be surprised if there was literal magic in Baki.
I mean,
point.
that's just some stuff that they do. It's just so ridiculous that it might as well be magic, but it's just so cool and crazy that I just forgive it because the show is ridiculous. We all know it's ridiculous, and that makes it great. If Baki was just a regular fighting show where things realistically happen and it was gory and stuff, I wouldn't like it. But because it's just crazy and over the top, it's great. I don't know, man.
Doesn't the main character have like extra muscles in his back or something? And
that's
a special thing.
Yeah, that's the Hanma bloodline, right? So basically, the Hanmas like they had this thing where first of all, the Hanma blood is crazy, but whenever like they flex their back muscles, there's a demon in the back, and then that's the thing.
I see.
That's the thing about the Hanma stuff.
Yeah, they got demons in their backs.
Yup.
Noted.
There's a lot of back comparisons in this show. There's like another guy that has a tattoo in his back, and like I don't know, like there's a lot of.
I've just been sitting here shaking my head for a while, just in case y'all were wondering.
So backs in Baki are like eyes in Naruto. I get it.
Wait, what? What? Nah. I mean, not really. Like people, they just have this like everybody has like this weird quirk. Like this guy that can absorb things, and he would like absorb poison in his hand, and he can also like absorb like walls, and the walls like break when he punches it because he can absorb the material. Like it's crazy. Either way, it's like one of the best things I've seen on Netflix, and things I've seen period recently. I'm a huge fan now. But yeah,
so you're looking forward to the next season is what I'm taking out of all
yeah
this.
Netflix. Yeah, I mean this is weird thing about Netflix where it's like Netflix is so bingeable. Like I can finish a Netflix show in like a day, but if the same show was in like Crunchyroll or Funimation, I couldn't do it. It's weird. I don't know.
Because it just keeps going. You miss the best part of the show, the opening and the ending.
I mean, I don't skip. True. I'm not a monster. I don't skip it, but you can if you want to.
Doesn't it auto skip the endings?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ending. Yeah, the endings. Yeah.
I tried to cut it off.
That's a shame.
You can go out of your way to not skip them.
Yeah, you have to hit B or something. Like I gotta grab a remote.
Yeah, I gotta put some effort in. I gotta put my back into it. Anyways, that's essentially the news.
That's all the news for this. A lot less news than last week. Maybe because we picked a lot of news articles that maybe weren't the most important in the world.
Yeah.
But hey, here we are this week. And that brings us to our weekly anime updates for the week. So this is where we talk about what we're watching, who's watching it, maybe a brief summary of what happened in the week's episode, and we talk about if we're gonna keep watching it or not. So we'll start off with the shows only one of us has seen. So Knocker, how's Dragon Quest going?
Okay. By the way, just letting y'all know, spoiler from this point on. So please, just know.
Oh
just
yeah,
Are there spoilers?
This is the point where we can talk about spoilers. I think it's okay to talk about spoilers at this point.
Like mini spoilers. Like you can still watch these shows.
No,
even if,
yeah,
you
that's
know.
the
we won't
thing.
go out of our way.
So
to,
I would say
It's episode 4, right? Episode 4 with most of these.
Most of them is episode 4. So I would say it's just the only thing is the shows we're talking about. Maybe just take a time to get caught up before we talk. Actually go into the show. If there's something
here, if there's a show from this week that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, you should just
Go
watch the episode first, and then you can listen to our opinions.
All the anime comes out Friday, anyways. You know it's not Friday. I don't know when I put this up, but I know it's not Friday.
Okay. I mean, okay, yeah.
But back to Dragon Quest.
Just don't Okay, I like Dragon Quest. I'm not gonna lie, it's warming up to me. It's the animation's pretty good. The plot is, like I said, super basic. You know exactly what you're getting into when you start watching it. But like I said, this is some charm in it. You wake up in the morning, you're a little woozy, keep putting your Dragon Quest, and you're happy. It's cool. All that happened in this episode was, apparently, it was the end of the training arc. The Demon Lord just showed up to be evil. So is it the Demon Lord? Whatever.
The Demon Lord.
Yeah, the Demon Lord, Devil Lord, whatever, that came in and while they were training, just to show that he was evil, and then left. And then he kind of you find out the person who was training the main character was a previous hero that beat the Demon Lord. So that's pretty much all that happened. Was that they were training. Demon Lord said, "Oh yeah, I'm back from the dead. Actually, there's an even stronger person than me. I'm evil. Ha 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 ha." And then he leaves. That's essentially it. There was nothing really much to say about it, but I think it's pretty enjoyable show. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but I can't say that it's bad. I'll probably rate it higher than Darling in the Franxx right now.
So it sounds like this show is moving mighty slow. Where do you think we end up in 12 episodes?
In 12
however
episodes?
many.
I know this is ending in 24 episodes, but
it's 24. Okay, so in 24 episodes, where do you think we'll have defeated the at
easily,
this pace, or
easily.
is it
because all this man has to do is beat it's basically just an adventure, right? To beat the Demon Lord, right? So all he has to do is beat him. So I feel everything in between, they can just you know what I mean? There's not really an end goal. There's already an end goal in sight. We're already seeing the Demon Lord, so he just gotta get there and beat him. So all he has to do is get stronger and kill him, right? It's a pretty standard in the mill show. So I'm pretty sure they can drag it out by putting a bunch of filler episodes or making the certain arc longer than it has to be. But I think they can finish the show in 24 episodes. I don't think it's gonna be too much of an issue.
All right.
Oh man. Talking about issues though, our last Crusade is a problem because that show is pretty trash. I don't know.
You're honest.
So remember how last week I was saying that it just showed up this random demon just came out of nowhere and we're finding the final boss out of nowhere and stuff, right? So this week they were so that suspense that we had about them finally getting to talk about their feelings and they finally go and beat the Demon Lord on episode 3. Well, they decided to do a flashback.
Ooh, those are the best. I love flashbacks.
And it seemed the flashback is going to be a permanent, if that makes sense.
Oh my.
So they went in the past and instead of so basically,
is it a time travel or is it just a flashback?
It's a flashback, but they're gonna stay in that flashback and they're gonna catch up to where we're at episode 3 is what it seems like.
Oh my god!
Because they literally went in the past and they were oh yeah, we need first of all they went to the casino to try and win money to buy a tank or whatever, and then it didn't even matter. It was so boring, and then they were oh. The main character was talking about how they need to meet up somewhere to defeat some family that was acting up, and then that's essentially where the episode ended. And I was okay, but what about that Demon Lord? And that Demon Lord girl was not in. There was no foreshadowing, no nothing, no hesitation to talk about that person at all whatsoever. So I'm assuming we're gonna go from like 2 weeks in each episode. We're gonna slowly get to that part where we were at. But yeah, I hate the show.
So wait, does that mean you're just gonna power through and keep watching it though?
Yeah, I'm already too deep into it. Like,
I feel like you're
that's
not
like 4 episodes. That's not.
I feel like you're not too deep.
Yeah,
I feel
you
like-
could definitely jump out if you wanted to.
I mean,
I
hey,
can't.
it's up
It's
to
just-
you though.
it's
I'm
so
not gonna tell you
stupid.
how to live your life.
You're right. It's not good though. All I'm gonna say is I feel like it's a waste of time. Stephan, you should watch it. I think it's right up your alley. But
Okay.
Dang, what
sounds
does
good.
that say about him?
No, he's
Yes.
right. No, he's right.
Oh. All right. Well, as long as you're not gonna deny it, then we're good.
I mean, we both have trash tastes, so like I know what he's about. He knows what I'm about. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this week about shows that I've just watched for myself. So
All right. Well, I've been watching more Akudama Drive, and it's interesting. It's picking up a little bit here. So they introduced the executioners, and they kind of explained that they're trying to catch the Akudama and execute them, of course. So they got like different
What?
powers and stuff. I know, right? It's crazy. They got like different powers, and they haven't really done anything yet, but I'm sure that they'll kind of pop in here as the heist continues. Also, the heist started. Speaking
Oh,
of,
dang!
so where they're
Already,
they're,
not no prep or anything. They're just going.
no, I mean,
Raw dogging
no,
it?
not really. They kind of go over the plan. So there's like a train that they need to break onto, and the train will take them to Kanto. And Kanto is like some sort of it's like a holy land in this world, this post-apocalyptic world where everything else was destroyed because like Kanto brought the rest of Tokyo out of the brink of destruction or something like that. They put some money into it, basically. So that's
Wait,
where all
hold
like the
up.
good technology is and stuff.
isn't Kanto
What?
a region in Japan?
Yeah, it's a real region.
No,
It's
it
a real
is.
region in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the region that the main characters are in, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So
Okay.
they gotta break into the train station essentially where the train is, and there's got like high tech security and all that. So they got they got the hacker doing his thing. They got the brawler just beating people up. They're just using everybody's abilities, and of course, the girl, the swindler, she doesn't really have any.
a
Yeah,
swindler,
she's
though?
not really a swindler.
Oh,
but
okay.
at the beginning of the heist, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna need you to be the one to get us into the building. You're the swindler. You got this." So when they pull up. So they pull up to the building and she's wearing like, I don't know. They pull up in a truck and she's wearing like one of the guards' outfits, and she's like, oh, or a delivery outfit. She's like, oh, we got a delivery. The guard's like, oh, you're not the usual delivery person. She's like, oh, they're sick. And he just stares at her for a while. Then he's like, all right, y'all are good to go. So the swindler
What?
did her job.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
well,
all she-
that worked out probably the best it probably
Yeah.
could have.
She's very suspicious, and I don't know why no one in the show suspects her. Like, she does the most suspicious stuff. Like, every time they're like, "You're the swindler, right?" She's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
oh
the
yeah,
swindler."
oh definitely, yeah. I
there's
just
a part where
swindling
they're-
all over the place.
And there's a part where they're all like running up the stairs, and she's getting tired. She's falling behind. She's like, "Wait, guys, can we slow down?" She's like, "Oh, come on, swindler. We know you got more energy than that." And they just keep on going. I just find it kind of funny, but yeah. So they break in. They have to like push some button to start the elevator at the same time, and it's like there's a bunch of barriers in the way, and they break through them. Whatever.
Exciting!
Nice.
Ooh, exciting!
And yeah, only one person can get on the train, and they had to use the swindler because they had to be a small person, and she's the only one
oh,
who could
she's
fit.
small. Okay.
So yeah, she's small. I mean, she's a little girl. So they're not little, but
Actually,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, like
physically,
physically
little.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're on the train, and then we're gonna see what happens next. You know what? I'm keeping up with this show. I feel like it's okay. It's a fine watch.
I remember.
haven't read it yet.
I remember. I said I would possibly watch it. Haven't gotten around to it yet, but maybe.
How do
Still
these
maybe.
weekly
Yeah.
updates sound? Are these weekly updates making you more or less interested?
I think it's making me like just keeping my interest at least.
Okay.
Like I
another
wouldn't say
thing-
necessarily I'm more interested or less, but like I'm
Yeah.
definitely keeping me interested in it.
Yeah. So one thing that is kind of interesting is like there's one character called Cutthroat who just likes to cut people's throats. Of course.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn.
And he kind of has a crush on the swindler, and it's kind of cute seeing them interact sometimes. But
Does he want to cut her throat?
I don't know. He just likes red things a lot, and I think she was wearing red the first time they met. So I think
that's
isn't that a beautiful reason to build a relationship?
He also pushes red buttons a lot that shouldn't be pushed. So
I see.
That's his thing.
I feel like that's a flaw if they're trying to have a heist.
Yeah, no, yes, it is. It is become problematic several times, but it's a cool show.
Definitely I'd say it sounds interesting. So
Yeah,
eventually I'll check it out. Eventually.
Yeah. Here talking about a show that I need to check out. Tim, what you been watching?
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna mention it here, but this might be the last time I ever bring it up because there's really no reason to talk about it every week. But Dogeza, I tried asking about kowtowing. Yeah, that show's still continuing. Once again, it's just like a 3 to 4 minute episode of just some dude begging to see some titties or panties. And
what
then
did he
it's
beg
just
for
going
this
to be
week,
the
though?
same
That's what I
thing
need to
every
know.
single week. So this specific week changed it up because I think the first 2 episodes, so there's only 3 episodes out right now. The first 2 episodes were both him asking to see some boobs, but this time he wants to see some panties.
Whoa!
And the I know, crazy
Character development at its finest.
Yeah, character development. But the girl that he was asking was like, she's playing some game, and she's like, I'm not wearing nothing. She's like flipping her skirt up a little bit. She's like, ooh, look at that, I got nothing under here. And the dude, he's like, I mean, I feel like this is enough. It's like, I don't even need to see anything. I feel like this is good enough. And even the narrator, who's been kind of like the straight man, kind of been like, saying to the girls, like, don't give in to him. The narrator's like, okay, this is kind of nice. I was like, I'm about this. But then in the end, she is wearing something. She's wearing some like string bikini as underwear. So like the string comes out, and then he's just like, you lied to me. So let me just snatch that. And he starts ripping at the string, and then you just see it like falling off.
God.
And she's like trying to hold it up.
We do not condone anything from Dogeza.
Yeah, so that was that whole episode.
Super sus.
Once again, I
think
think this is probably the last time I need to bring this up. It's the same thing every single
I
episode.
need my Dogeza update every week. If I'm not watching it, I need to know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like me explaining it is as good as watching it, especially if you're watching it censored because you get nothing out of it anyway. So
Is the animation good?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's so lazily animated. There's like 3 frames they switch between of just like the girl in like one of 3 poses, and then it like transitions from one pose to the next one back to the first one, and it just goes like that, and that's like all the animation they have, and that's it. So yep, that's that show. Moving on to the next one.
All right, so the next show is Fire Force. We're getting into the sequels here. So, Nakarin, you're not caught up on Fire Force still, aren't you?
No, I got lazy and I was like, I should watch some more.
How's your progress been though? You're into season 2, right?
Yeah, I think I'm like more than halfway through season 2. Let me pull up. I mean,
if you're halfway through season 2,
if you're halfway through season 2, then that would mean that you're
almost caught up. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I guess I'm like halfway through.
You're halfway through season 2.
Halfway through the first half of season 2.
Actually, let me double check because I'm pretty sure that I'm like a decent amount in. Okay, so I'm in episode 14 is what I'm at.
That must be. Is that
14?
not the break off point?
You might be episode 14 of season 2 or episode 14 of season of just
episode
Fire
14
Force?
of season 2. Like, okay, you are at episode 17.
Might be caught up. Okay, you're almost caught up then. You're like 3 episodes behind.
Oh, so that means you're in the second half then of season 2.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in the second half. Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
you should probably.
So he wasn't BSing. He was telling the truth. He actually is halfway through.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Like I'm like 3-4 episodes behind. So I think
All right. So I feel bad for like explaining the things that are like about to happen to you in like 3 episodes, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Oh, okay.
So spoiler in this chat.
No sympathy, I guess.
I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it light. Well, I can't. I gotta talk about the episode. It's gonna be spoilers. I can't help it. Close your ears if you don't want to hear it. I don't know.
I'm gonna take my
All right,
headphones
come
out.
back in 30 seconds. I'll make it quick. I'll start a timer.
Yes, I'll
all
start
right.
a timer too.
All right.
Oh, for real.
So,
for real timer.
So the fight's over. Honestly, there's no real. I don't know. There's not really anything to spoil, so I don't really know why I made him leave. But the fight's over. So all the people, the white clad Hajime and Fire Force 8 all work together to take down the new pillar. I don't remember his name. Yeah, and you think one of them's gonna like take him away, but White Clad kind of just gives up. They're like, you know what? We've been fighting too hard. We need to go recuperate. I will say though, there is one really cool. Oh, another 30 seconds. There's one dope scene where the one white clad guy who's big with all the muscles, where he takes on one of the like radioactive blasts from the kid. He like throws it up into the sky and it puts a crater in the moon. That was dope. Didn't make any sense, but it was dope. But yeah. So now the white clad kind of just gave up on that one. I guess they'll come back later, I'm sure. And the team.
I'm back.
The Fire Force, whatever. Yeah, I'm basically done. So Fire Force 8 is now working with Hajime to. I don't even know what they're trying to do together. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry, man. But yeah, they have a temporary truce to work with one another to get a power source, so they don't have to put a human inside of one like they had to do with Amaterasu, I think it's called, the power source that powers all of Tokyo. Amaterasu, yeah.
Like how I got the name even though I don't know at all what you're talking about.
Oh wait,
Naruto. Really? You haven't seen any Fire Force? I thought you saw some of it.
I mean,
no, I know some of it.
Okay.
Also, like Amaterasu is just the name of a freaking god in Japan, and the name is used in so much stuff. So
well, it makes sense because it is the thing that powers this city, so that also adds up. But yeah, that's kind of all that's happened with Fire Force. Really hype episode. Really hype episode just because of that one scene that I talked about. But you know, we'll see what happens from here. I feel like the thing about Fire Force is things just happen. Like things just start out of nowhere and they just end just as quickly. Like there was no reason for them to really stop fighting. Like I mean, I guess a couple of them were injured, but that's never stopped them before. You know.
It's like, I'm done,
because
I'm tired.
the plot wanted them to stop. That's why they stopped.
And even when it like started, it kind of came out of nowhere. But whatever, I'm into it.
All right, I think we can move on then to the next one.
Yeah, the next show's a little tough, only because I don't really remember what happened in HAIKYU to the Top Part 2 season.
It's HAIKYU, bro. It's HAIKYU. We can leave it there.
To the Top, whatever.
Yeah, to the top.
Yes, to the top.
Part 2 or whatever.
Knocker's not caught up. Knocker, are you even gonna catch up? Do you have any intention of catching up in HAIKYU?
I will call up last week. What do you mean?
Did you?
Happened. Yeah.
Oh, so you're just one episode behind
this week?
I'm one episode behind. I just forgot. Okay. I literally forgot to watch this week's episode.
It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. This episode was kind of mid anyways. It's about Kenma Yozumi, if you remember him. He's one of the...
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's the setter for Nekoma High. So not like Karasuno.
Not the crows, but the cats, right?
Yeah, the cats. Okay, so you do remember.
It's freaking Neko. Yeah. Obviously, it's the cats.
Oh, okay. I guess. It's
I could have told you that, and I know nothing about HAIKYU.
But yeah, this is basically just like a character building episode for him. It's just one long flashback essentially. They don't play any volleyball really.
Oh wow.
So I don't even know why they're going over him because he's not even in a game. Well, he's not playing the main team right now. So I guess maybe later on down the line he'll play them or something. Whatever. They kind of get into his character. He was like a neat and like one of the other teammates he's been friends with for a long time. I don't remember his name either. Oh, Tetsuro Kuro. Tetsuro Kuro. Yeah, that's the other guy on the team. So it goes over there, kind of dynamic, and him convincing him to come on the team. And there's also some other guy on the team who's like a muscle-bound head, and it's kind of just showing their interactions with each other. And they've all got like pretty unique personalities. But I didn't remember any of them before this episode, maybe just because I haven't seen HAIKYU in so long since the last season. But
I guess that's not really that long. What is this, earlier this year, right?
I mean,
No, I don't think he was.
Okay.
I don't think he was into the top part.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
it's been a while. And he wasn't in season 3 either of HAIKYU because that was all one game, as we all know. So we haven't seen him since probably season 2 of HAIKYU.
Yeah, weren't they like the rival school? Weren't they like, oh, they've been rivaling for years on end?
Honestly, that might have been the first season. I don't remember for sure, but that was like the first couple of seasons when we got introduced to him. It's been a minute.
Didn't HAIKYU lose to them? Didn't that team lose to that team, or am I just bugging out?
I wouldn't be surprised, but again, I don't remember anything about this team. So that's all I really have to say about that.
I mean, I didn't want it any other way, from being honest.
It was kind of a bleh episode. I mean, maybe if they do something with the characters in the future, like if they go against each other again, maybe it'll all be worth it. You know, maybe some character building, but yeah. And then the other show I've seen is The Day I Became a God. Finally, I have some help because Tim, you're caught up with The Day I Became a God.
Of course,
right?
I am. That is a fun show.
I love this episode. I'm just gonna start off with saying that right now. I think this show is legitimately great. It's
me
really
too.
good.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
And people are sleeping on it. I know everybody's sleeping on it because I don't hear nobody talking about it. But this show is really good.
Yeah, it deserves way more hype than it's getting. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying that I want to check on it, but I literally forget it every single
Yeah, you
week
definitely
to watch
should.
it.
It's a good watch. It's very interesting so far. So what exactly happened this episode?
So this week was the week where okay, so the main character's sister comes back all beaten up and tattered. Remember that? That's kind of how it starts up.
Yep.
And then why was she beaten up and tattered? It didn't make any sense.
Because they were running away from a debt collector.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because her
friends or her senpai?
Yeah, in the like film club that she's in.
Oh yeah. So her senpai from the film club now owns a ramen shop.
Yeah, she's watching over. Yeah, she's watching over it because her mom, I think her mom like bought it or something, but she's like not doing well health wise, so she has to like take care of it. And
I didn't even remember that detail.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that also because of all of this, they don't get a lot of customers, and the like expenses they have to pay are like too high, so they're like in debt basically. So they were getting chased by some like debt collector, and that's why in the end of the last episode, the younger sister Sora, she came back and she was all like beat up and stuff because of that.
So now the main character and Odin
Just call her Hina. Just call her Hina.
Sato. I like calling her Odin. Are gonna help get this ramen shop back in business. So Hina draws up a plan for the MC to go and carry out, and it's basically him like impersonating some big businessman who knows a lot about ramen shops, and he just kind of pulls up and says, I'm gonna whip this shape into place for, what was it, 100 yen a day or something stupid?
Yeah, it was like 100 yen a day, I think he said.
Yeah, at the small price of 100 yen a day, and you know they accept. So I don't know where he became a food critic, but he basically tells them, "Oh, this ramen needs some MSG in it. You're not putting MSG in it, and that's why your costs are so expensive, and it tastes so bland." And he also gives a few other. He changes the name and adds like some gimmicks that are supposed to make the place.
The angel has fallen, or whatever. I think that was it.
Yeah, so that's the name of the place is like Fallen Angel now or something.
Yeah,
but
so dumb, but so fantastic.
It's hilarious.
And then they shoot like a freaking 30 for 30 about him or something, where he's talking about like
he gets interviewed by a news crew, and it makes a bunch of people come to the place, of course, because it's on like TV now. And
I just love that whole like interview that they filmed, because he's like talking about how like at the age of whatever he was running his own business or something, like making all this stuff up, because apparently he like said that he was 40, and when they were filming the thing, they said it was his birthday, so he just turned 41. I don't know why they added that detail, but it was funny. But then they were just also talking like he loves fashion, but like he determined that he like in order to be fashionable, he doesn't have to wear a bunch of stuff, so he just wears the same suit every single day.
He just wears this basic ass suit every day, and he's never taken it off for the past few years. He climbed like a mountain in the suit. I think there's a clip of him climbing a mountain.
I just love it. I just had him like surfing in the suit. He was like doing like some like water jetpack thing in the suit. I was just like, yo. Cool.
And then they have and then the debt collectors come back after the place, becomes real popular, of course. And the main character has to get him up out of there. So Hina draws up some feet on the floor that is like how he dodges all the punches and like fights back against the debt collector, and he punches him in the face, and the debt collector scurries away. I don't know if that got rid of their debt.
But they did get the promissory note that he had. I don't know if that means anything that they have it now, but they have it now. So
okay. So maybe they can get a fair interest rate or something.
Yeah, something like that. I assume the problem is solved now, though.
Yeah, I assume they'll move on to something completely different by the next episode.
Yes, but another important thing that they did in this episode, I feel like it's important. They introduced another character, this hacker dude, Suzuki.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him completely.
Like the way he's introduced, his like thumbs are like handcuffed together for some reason, which looks kind of weird. But then like he convinces the guy that's with him to like let him get some food. So they go out to get like takoyaki, he's eating it, and then a mother like shows up because she's looking for her daughter that's lost, and he's like, oh, I'll help you find her. So then he pulls like some like Matrix freaking like hacker screens. It's like popped up all over the like just like in the world, and then he just starts like swiping some stuff and doing some stuff, and then he's like, oh, I found her on some security cam. So they go up and find her, and after they deal with this situation, and they go and he meets up with some big boss lady, and she's like, oh, you have to go up against this other hacker dude or something, and he's like, I guess kind of reluctantly agrees to do it because he doesn't really have a choice in the matter, so he just has to do it. But yeah, I guess that seems like it's going to be a plot point. Maybe it'll even relate to the end of the world that is still approaching, and I think like what is it like less than 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah, it's like
it was like 20 something days.
Yeah,
no one really talks about it.
No, it's just kind of in the background.
No one's really trying
now
to solve it. And anytime the girl brings up, oh, I'm a god, the main character is always like, she's delusional.
No. Yeah. So I like in my mind the way it's gonna work is like there'll be like more of these like vignettes of kind of like random stuff that they're doing, and the days until the end of the world are just going to keep going down until it gets like pretty close to it, and then it'll start to get more serious, and they'll get like to like the actual like meat of the like what's actually going on and everything. So that's how I assume it's going to go. But
yeah, it is, you know what, it is kind of it's very Angel Beatsy in that way.
Yeah, that's what I think. That I mean, it's just literally the same writer, so I'm like,
it's the same studio.
Yeah, exactly, and it's probably gonna end sad too. So just be ready for that. And
I'm not ready
if you're gonna watch it.
I'm not ready at all.
You're ready for those tears. You can plan them in like weeks in advance.
Oh God.
Okay, I guess after that we can move on to the next show, which is Irregular at Magic High School Season 2. And Nakran has not caught up on this most recent episode, so I'm the only one who's caught up right now. And I do think the beginning of the episode was pretty interesting because the way the last episode ended was with Tatsuya like using his like busted magic gun to cancel out the Lena's disguise, so her face is revealed, and he's like, oh, you're the person that's been running around trying to catch all these parasites that have been running around. And then they have like a little bit of a fight where he's like, I like just like that every time he just shoots his gun, it just cancels everything out. So he's just like, she's shooting, trying to do all the stuff, and he's just canceling everything she does. And then he does this one like attack that just like shoots out a whole bunch of beams all over the place, and she's like shielding it. He's not really blocking it, so he's just like taking all of these shots, and he's just like wounding himself. But like he has like this crazy like regenerative ability that like allows him to just like instantly heal. So he's like just blasting himself, but he's just like instantly healing right after that. And I don't exactly know what that did. I don't remember what that did specifically. It almost just looks like he's just hurting himself for no reason because he was blocking it. But eventually Miyuki shows up, her the sister, as well as like his teacher, because Lena calls for like some guards that come up, and Tatia's like, oh, I don't want to have to fight all these guys. So Miyuki and his teacher show up to like help him out. And basically they agree on a duel. So at first it was going to be Tatia was going to one-on-one duel versus Lena. And if he won, then she would have to like answer his questions. But if she won, then they would have to let her go. But then Miyuki's like, no, let me fight her because I'm not going to forgive her for trying to kill you, brother, because obviously she has a brother complex. Obviously, That's the whole thing in this whole show. So they duel, and they're, it's not it's not like it's crazy animated or anything, because Miyuki's basically just standing there the whole time, and she just like presses some stuff on her CAD or whatever thing to like do like magic blasts and all this stuff, so she doesn't really move. But like Lena's like jumping around, like throwing knives and stuff like that, and then it all culminates into like these like they go use these like all out attacks, focus at each other, and they try to they like clashing beams or whatever. But then Tatia's like, oh wait, if this continues, like somebody's gonna die here, so let me just be busted real quick and shoot at this thing and cancel both of their all out attacks and just have them blast. Like he shoots it and they like both blast at him, but he just like nullifies it and he's just like fine. So I'm like, this dude just like took on both of their like strongest moves and didn't even flinch. I'm like, come on, man. But I also thought that moment was funny. Yeah. I thought that moment was funny though, because he's standing there with his teacher, and like obviously they're not like as strong as him, so like when the blast comes, he's just standing there and he has like a barrier that shows up or whatever that protects him from it. But then like the teachers they like were in the ground, so they just like pop up out of the ground. I'm like, oh, that was kind of funny though. They just like somehow like mole men dug into the floor and then just popped up after everything was over. But in the end, they win the duel, so she has to answer some questions. They don't really show them interrogating her, but she's upset the next morning. She's like, I can't believe these high school kids just beat me when I'm this big shot general and everything. But obviously she's been pretty clumsy the whole season. And then a whole bunch of other stuff happened that I don't really remember because it wasn't as interesting as the beginning of of that episode. So yeah, and then the episode progresses and then it gets to the end, and that was really all that like really stood out to me. This episode was just that first scene, but I thought it was pretty good. There hasn't been, well, I mean, I guess there's been some action in the show, but like not like some big battle kind of like this almost was with these two like powerhouses going up against each other. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice stuff.
Yep.
Well, I guess now we need to get to this. So,
Ooh.
Higurashi Go.
I've been waiting for this.
I've taken notes. I've taken notes on this show. If you can see those notes, there's some math problems around there. But this episode surprised me. It's the first time anything's happened in this damn show that I've seen so far. That's how Higurashi works. So. And now that something has happened, it kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting anything to happen. Anyway, so in this episode, so the main character, Keiichi, or whatever, Keiichi, he's terrified of Rena because of what happened last episode. She was like looking in on him while he was on the phone or whatever, and then she disappeared. So he says he's sick. He doesn't want to go to school. So his parents say, okay, you cannot go to school, but you got to go to the doctor's office or whatever. So he goes to the doctors or whatever, and they're not open. there's a very suspicious looking man pushing a thing around, saying, "Oh yeah, we won't be open for a while. There's stuff going on here. You're gonna have to go to a different one." And Keiichi's like, the next one's too far away. Forget it. I'm just gonna go to school. So he goes to school and he's talking to Rika. So Rika kind of comes up to him and is like, "Oh, you look nervous. Is something going on? And you can always talk to me if you need something or someone to talk to." And he kind of explains, "Yeah, Rena can be kind of scary sometimes, can't she?" But Rika's like, "Oh no, you're just imagining things. It's nothing." And honestly, she said it in a more convincing way than I'm saying it, to the point where I was like, maybe it is nothing. Maybe this guy is going crazy and it's not about Rena. Like, she was pretty convincing. She was like, maybe you're just imagining things or something like that. Anyways, so he goes back home and he gets a phone call from his parents basically saying, "Oh, we went to Tokyo. We're not going to be home for a few days, but we got someone bringing you dinner." It's just then there's a knock at the door. And then Rena pops up at the house with a bunch of boxes filled with food and stuff, and she knocks on that door so hard, it's like terrifying. And the main character is like stressing, like he is like losing his mind over here, not wanting to open the door. And eventually she just keeps banging like, "Keiichi, let me in! Come on, Keiichi!" This, that, and the third. And eventually he gathers himself. He remembers what Rika said, and he lets her in. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I've been and he gives her a hug. He's like, "Oh my goodness, I've been freaking out over nothing. This, that, and the third." And then Rena comes over. She's putting all the food out on the table, like, and while Keiichi's sitting in the other room. Then she pulls out a bunch of weapons, like a bunch of rope and duct tape and like knives and stuff like that. And then shit goes down. I'm just gonna be straight. Shit goes down. She runs at him with the knife. My man is shook. He's trying to defend himself. He's running away. And then eventually he's like, "Oh man, she's gonna catch me." So he like body rushes her. He just kind of rams into her with the knife in her hand. And he knocks the knife out of her hand and gets her on the ground. And then he starts feeling bad. But the knife is still like within arm's reach of her. So I'm like, "What are you doing, man? Come on, don't be crazy." And of course, as soon as he gets close enough, she grabs that knife and stabs him through the chest. Right as he pulls up. And then she's just like, she's going at him, just stabbing him right in the heart. And then somehow, I don't know how, this is after he's been stabbed about 15 times, there's a clock next to him, and he grabs the clock, and he busts her upside the head with the clock, and then she's out for the count also. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know what's gonna happen. The episode got like 10 minutes left. So it flashes forward, and somehow this nigga's alive. Don't ask me how. This man's in the hospital, cooling. And the one friend pulls up and it's like, "Oh, Keiichi, it's crazy. What the fuck happened to you, man? Rena, she was our girl. This, that,
Wait,
and the third."
Who is this? Mion, the green hair.
This is green hair girl. Okay, what's her name?
Mion.
Yeah, so Mion pulls up and just says, "Oh, we can talk about all this later. You know, focus on getting well." I assume Rena's dead at this point. I mean, everything. Yeah, him busting her upside the head. Maybe she's alive. I don't think she is.
I mean, he survived getting stabbed a bunch.
He did get survived getting stabbed multiple times in the chest. I don't know how. And basically, Mion also says, "Oh, and also that same knife that she stabbed into your chest. That knife was found next to Sato and Rika. They're both dead also. The other two little girls, yeah, they're dead." I was like, what? This doesn't even make any sense. How was the knife found next to them if she stabbed him with the knife and then passed out? It didn't make any sense to me. So now all the kids are dead except for the MC and Mion, I guess. And also, little thing I forgot to mention, right before Rena went crazy, she was like scratching her neck and there was like a lot of blood and stuff coming out when she was like doing it. And then the nurse comes up to the main character, what's his name, Keiichi, and she's like, "Oh, how you doing? You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." And she has this real menacing look, and she's like, "How's your neck feeling?" And then he starts scratching his neck and screams at the top of his lungs, and the episode ends. So I don't know what that was.
I'm getting goosebumps.
This is really interesting.
That thing was crazy.
Wait, what does the nurse look like?
What does the nurse look like? I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out who. If is it the blonde lady?
I don't know, man.
It's just
like,
think it
what is happening? I was like, what is going on right now? All the kids are
damn shows.
Okay, so all right. So
yeah,
I'm
it was crazy.
Take a moment to try and compare this to the original, which I'm still watching. I'm like 24 episodes in now. Yeah, 24 episodes in. Okay, so the way that the first arc works in the original, basically everything kind of plays out the same, with Keiichi getting kind of scared of Rena, and then like Rika trying to mediate. I believe that same thing happens too. And then his parents end up like, well, he ends up skipping school because he's like, I don't want to deal with them. But in the original, when he skips school, he actually ends up going to the doctors. He doesn't get turned away. He's at the doctors, and then he runs into the cop again, Oishi, and talks to him, and like goes to like a restaurant and talks to him a second time. And then he comes back to his house, and then when he's at his house, Rena and Mion visit him. And they're like, "Oh, I hope you're feeling better. I heard you were sick. That's why you stayed home." So they stop by and they deliver some ohagi, which is like some like a food, Japanese food, and it's like a ball. It's like ball shaped, and there's usually put stuff inside of it. And they're like, we numbered all of them, and there's like Rena made one of them and my grandma made the other one, so your homework tomorrow is to tell us which one Rena made. So he goes and he's like, I guess I was freaking out for nothing. He starts eating them, and then he eats one of them and there's a needle in it. And he's like, what the? And then he just starts chucking them at the walls, and he's like, yo, they try to kill me. They straight up try to kill me. He's like, I'm not doing with this anymore. So the next day he goes to school, and he goes to school early. Yeah. He goes to school early, and he takes a bat that he finds in one of the lockers that belonged to a kid that doesn't go there anymore, which he's important for later on, but I'm not gonna bring it up right now because it's not important in that first arc. And he just like starts practice swinging, and he's just swinging away, and Mion and Rena are trying to act all normal again, and he's like, don't talk to me, I'm not dealing with y'all because y'all are crazy. So he's always practicing swinging this bat. And then the same thing happens, like you mentioned, where his parents are like, oh, we're going to Tokyo. And they just leave randomly. They're like, okay, we're gone. So you're home by yourself. And then he gets all nervous because it's like, oh, I'm home by myself. He's like, let me go lock all these doors. So he goes around his house. He's locking every single door, all the windows, everything. And then he hears the knock at the door. And then it's like, oh, it's Rena at the door. And she's like, hey, Keiichi, I'm here. Your parents are gone. I'm gonna bring you some food. I got some food for you. And then she's like going crazy at the door, kind of like you were saying. But instead of opening the door for her, he doesn't open it all the way. He leaves the chain lock on. So like as soon as he opens it, she like just pries it open as far as it can go. And she has like her hands reached in, and she's like, what? Like, why are you letting me in? And all this stuff. And she's trying to reach in. So then he just like starts slamming it into her hands, and she's just like crying and apologizing, like, I'm sorry. And he just like slamming. I'm like, oh, I kind of feel bad for her. And then eventually she pulls her hands out, and he closes the door, and he's like, oh, okay, I gotta go upstairs. He goes upstairs, and he looks out the window, and he sees her standing outside the window. And I think she was holding food again, but like she's just like looking crazy out the window. And I'm like, yo, it's a good thing you did not let her in, because apparently she was bringing a whole bunch of weapons and stuff to his house, because I'm assuming it's like almost the same thing, but like what it seems like to me is just like a couple different details have changed, but like the main plot points are the same. It's almost like if you're playing the visual novel. Timeline. Yeah, it's like if you're playing the visual novel, but like you're making a choice. Like the choice, let's say the branch is, do you open the door or do you leave the door like locked? And in the original, he chose to leave the door locked, but in this one, he chose to open it, and then that's how it ended with him opening the door. So like that's what it kind of seems like to me. I don't know how that like plays out in terms of like the grand scheme of the story, but yeah, that's what it seems like. Also, like the menacing maid, the nurse, that's like a thing that didn't really happen in the original, so that's why I was trying to figure out who that was, because I'm like, I don't remember something like that happening in the first season. So
I think her face was mostly shaded. I don't know if it was like supposed to be someone important or not.
I'm trying to figure out
like
though, because like especially even the stuff with the doctor, like him not being able to go to the doctors at all, like that seems interesting too, because it's like he didn't have any issue going there in the original.
The people at the doctor's office seemed really suspicious. So I'm guessing there's something.
I'm wondering if something's going down there, or like this new season is like there's some other bad entity that's doing stuff, and somehow it's related to the doctor's office. I don't know. All I know is that I'm excited to finish this first season, because I've already just determined that I'm going to finish the first season, and then as soon as I finish the first season, just catch up on the new stuff and then start the second season. I've already determined that's what it's going to be. So I'm excited to get caught up so I can watch this, because that sounds crazy, because that's definitely not how stuff went down in the original. I will say that for sure.
It was a ride to watch. I was like, oh my goodness. I was over here like covering my eyes and like looking away and like the thing you do in like horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting all that.
Because, okay, so, I mean, I guess also in the original, I don't know if this arc is over. I mean, it sounds like it's over, but I don't know.
I would assume that this line is done. I don't know if they're going to do some time travel, I've heard.
Oh, well, yeah, because Rika and Satoko are dead, so I would assume it's over. Because, like, in the original first arc, I don't really think they mention whether or not what happens to Rika and Satoko in the first arc. Though, again, I assume they die, because Rika kind of dies in every single one. But it definitely doesn't go down like that. Like Mion and Rena both show up at his place at one point after he gets like accosted by some like sketchy looking dudes in suits, and then they show up at his house with a syringe full of some weird drug or something, and then he like defends himself by bashing their brains in with the bat. That's how that happens.
That didn't happen. So. That didn't happen in my
life. So I'm like, I'm really interested to see why things are like changed up like this. So I'm excited for the rest of this. That's for sure.
Maybe it's a different timeline thing, like Fate.
I mean, it's definitely a different timeline.
Yeah, like I mean, that's how the show works. It's just different time. There's a bunch of different timelines. That's for sure.
Oh god. Okay. I guess. Okay. So, would you rather me catch up on Higurashi or The Dad Became a God? What do you think will be like the most impactful thing to start off first?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you want. Because if you want something so far that's pretty like wholesome and
like
funny, then you get The Dad Became a God. If you want something that's suspenseful and creepy and scary, then watch Higurashi. They're very different.
I'm watching. I guess I can watch Dad Became a God.
They're both good. I would probably. Yeah, I don't know. I'd recommend both. Honestly.
Yeah, same.
Something
that may not be able to be recommended. The next show,
or maybe Nocturne is it getting any better?
It's alright. There's some action this episode, I guess. I still hate the blonde guys. Not the blonde guy. The white-haired person. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy without a name.
No, not M21. M21 is fine. He's fine. I just hate the guy with the white hair, like the vampire with the sister.
Oh, the vampire dude, yeah.
Yeah, so as I got from last episode. First of all, I don't even care if I spoil the show. It's not that good. Anyways, so last week we had this whole thing where like, wait, Stephan, did you watch last week's episode? Or did you not?
No, I have not watched last week's nor this week's episode.
Damn it, so I need someone to relate to. Either way,
I might catch up.
Last week, I don't even know. Okay, first of all, I don't even know why I'm watching. I'm caught up with this, but I'm not caught up in HAIKYU and other better shows. Either way, what he did was last week M21 got captured by the Union, right? But it was like they were kind of beating him up in the park, right? Like this man was getting beat up, destroyed. The guy with the white hair saw M21 get beat up, right? And then the Union, or like the villain of this arc, like the gang, was like, "Yo, you're coming with us for interrogation or something. Like, you're coming with us, right?" And M21 protected the white-haired person, right? And literally every single normal person that would see this scenario would think, "Oh, M21's trying to save me." You know, he got beat up by this gang, and they kind of took him by force away from here. Nah, not him. What he did was the second he went home, he went to Frankenstein, which is the head coach of the school and was all like, M21 betrayed me. I can't believe him. I'm like, come on, bro. You just saw this man get beat up to the inch of his life and you think they're on the same team? Like, anyways, that's just for petty reasons. But generally, this entire episode, all that happened was they were just trying to investigate what was going on. They had some cute moments with the two hackers, because like the red guy and his little friend with the glasses had this little like cute little moment with one of the villains, the hacker, and those two kind of bonded. Turns out that like one of the villain isn't as evil as it seems, because he just wants to find his sister. Either way, it's pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie. I will say the plot is
mid.
developing.
Is that a level up?
Oh, mid's not that bad.
You know what? Okay, what's the word lower than mid? It's
Shit.
an anime. Yeah, you know what? It is pretty shit. It is pretty shit. Like,
Oh,
okay,
dang.
I will say
Never mind.
that
It did level up.
they did like try and improve on it. Is in like they like I can tell that the plot is progressing, so like they're putting a little bit more effort into that. The action at the end of the episode when like the white-haired person fought like the leader of the bad guys was kind of interesting too. So like I guess that was kind of cool. But like yeah, I mean I think this episode was like one of the better ones, but it still wasn't really that good. Like there's so much to nitpick, and so yeah, it's still the worst anime of the season. I think the worst anime of the season is Noblesse, and then it is Our Last Crusade. I think those two are.
Oh, okay. I'm glad that I'm not caught up in those two then.
Yeah, it shows that I'm not watching. Or that I think I will ever watch.
Yeah, it's like I think Tim, you'll probably like Our Last Crusade more than you like Noblesse, if I'm being honest.
But you're gonna keep watching Noblesse, right? Right now,
yes.
you're gonna hang in there for us.
Yes. You know, I've been on that webtoon train for a minute. It's time to face the consequences. So
this is what you get for saying webtoons need to become anime.
Yeah, this is
okay.
what you sowed.
I still stand by that. I will support.
No,
webtoons.
yeah. There's some good ones. I'm not gonna hate on it too much.
Yes, like Tower God is great. That's some God of High School has potential. It has potential, yeah. There's some other good shows. Like there's some shows that I really want to be animated, like The Boxer. Is it like The Weak Hero, the hardcore leveling, stuff like that. Those are all shonen S type. Dr. Frost, I guess, Flow. I mean, if you watch webtoons, you know what I'm talking about. Unordinary, like, but I think the ones that's been shown so far, especially Noblesse, it's kind of hurts my soul. I kind of don't want to talk about Noblesse anymore. You know?
I think we got it. I think we got the gist.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So Danmachi season 3 is next. So me and Tim are caught up. Knocker, how far behind are you? Are you planning on catching up with this?
I'm like 2 episodes behind. So yes, I do.
Knocker, there's a lot of shows. Got a decent number of shows you're not caught up to here.
Okay, no, check this out. Right, check this out. I mean, the only ones that haven't caught. I mean, yeah, caught up. Higurashi, I haven't even started Higurashi. I haven't even started The Day I Became a God. But like, Fire Force, I'm like 2 episodes behind. HAIKYU, I'm like 1 episode behind. Yeah,
okay,
so like,
fair enough. All right, so this Danmachi episode, Tim, what you got?
What? Hold on. Let me remember what happened in this episode.
Okay, let me tell you what I remember, because it is a little forgettable. I'm not gonna lie.
This episode was pretty slow.
So it starts off with Belle and the rest of the gang are now hanging out with the monsters. I believe they're called Xenos is the name of their organization. Yeah. So they're introducing themselves and they're explaining that they have to fight the monsters in the dungeon just like the humans do. And they like have weapons and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we have to fight the humans sometimes also. And then, we get their weapons, kind of the same way that humans fight the monsters and get their gems or whatever that levels them up.
Or whatever
basically
they are.
their soul stones. But yeah, so they're kind of bonding, all the monsters are like chill people. Only some of them can talk though. So they kind of explain that some of the monsters learn to talk really quickly. Like they'll learn to talk within a few weeks of being reborn or whatever in the dungeon. And some of the other ones they might never learn how to talk, essentially. So what they think is happening is that there's some sort of process of like reincarnation.
Yeah.
So like every time a monster dies, it gets reborn. or maybe when a human dies, it gets reborn. They didn't really go into
it was kind of
part.
iffy on like what they meant, but it definitely seemed like they were alluding to some form of like reincarnation, dying and coming back. But like, it kind of seemed like they were talking about like a human dying and coming back. That's why they could talk so fast, because they, I guess, in a past life they were.
And then
human.
after or if they're like monsters only, like after so many times of being reborn, they eventually get a will of their own, and they just kind of have self-preservation, and they become like human-like, I guess. They get like emotions and stuff. And so like these guys are moving around all the floors. Yeah, these guys are like moving around on all the floors, like trying to find the monsters who are like, you know, humanizing basically, and just get them to join their group or whatever. So that's what Wine is. The Wine that they found is someone who was born in the dungeon and can talk and whatever. And basically the guild master, who's talking to Hestia, kind of says that they kind of put Wine with them on purpose because they want to try and integrate monsters and humans into society together. But they know that, you know, whatever guild's going to do that, they're going to get a lot of shit. So she's like, so you want my guild to get all this shit? And they're like, yeah, we kind of just
basically,
do.
It's like, I mean,
so,
they're pretty shit guild, if I'm being honest. So it
kind of the Familia is pretty small. They only have a couple people.
They've got some accomplishments under their belt now.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Barely.
But, yeah. So,
I do
left off. Go ahead.
But before we continue, I do remember also, like, the main monster, Lid, I guess his name is. Like, I do remember him also mentioning that there's another one of them that was stronger than him that wasn't present, and I assume that's going to come back later to some degree.
So there's an even stronger Xenos member out there who just kind of, he's grinding it out in the dungeon right now. Yeah, he's training somewhere, but he's the strongest guy in the group or whatever. And honestly, the what did you say? Lid or whatever? Yeah, he was pretty strong. He was matching Bell, you know, blow for blow.
Yeah,
so these monsters are no joke.
Definitely the strongest one.
Yeah. But, so they actually ended up leaving Wine down there with Xenos because, you know, it's kind of simpler for everybody involved. And Wine hears some monsters, like some humanized monsters or whatever, like screaming. And she's like with a small group of them at this point. They kind of split off. And they you know, their small group kind of charges at, you know, the screaming monster. And it turns out to be like a trap. So there's like, so it's like the humans, one of the guilds is like collecting monsters and like, I don't know what they're doing with them, like enslaving them, essentially. They're putting them in cages, maybe selling them or something like that.
Something like that. Smuggling them in some...
Selling them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they actually do with them.
I don't know why they're evil, but they're evil.
Also, the main bad guy, his name is Dix, so...
Oh
perfect.
Wow.
So Dix is in there, and he's got the squad.
I just love that. His name is Dix.
But yeah, it kind of just leaves off on that note. So like they've been ambushed and they're about to get probably taken because they don't have anyone especially strong with them.
Yeah, especially because like when they heard the crying, they were in contact with the rest of the group and they were like, "Hold on, wait for us to get there so we can help you all out." But they were like, "Nah, let's go ahead."
Backup. Yeah, they didn't want to wait for backup.
So yeah, they're about to get snatched up probably.
Yes. So cool stuff in Danmachi. I'm into it. I'm into it right now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, this episode was kind of slow, like you kind of said, but it's definitely, the story itself is interesting.
I can see it. I can see it building. I can see the blocks building to something, and I'm kind of curious to see where it goes. Not a lot of Bell. Not a lot of the guild. Or our guild, the Hestia guild in this episode.
There was a lot of, like, all the time that Bell was in it, he was kind of not saying anything either and just kind of looking concerned. He was just kind of, like, looking off, like without talking. So, but yeah, I mean, interesting so far this season, but I think that we can move on to the next show.
Awesome.
So now we're getting into the shows that we're all watching, the big boys, and one not so big boy
that somehow made it with the rest of the big boys.
That somehow is still on this big boy list.
I don't know why we don't just start with that one out of these four and then move on to the rest of them, but
nope, we're talking about it second to last for some. We could have changed the order. We could still fuck it. So Tonikawa. Everybody's watched Tonikawa. I didn't know Doctor watched it. Doctor, you watched Tonikawa?
Okay, first of all, yes, I didn't watch Tonikawa.
I didn't know you watched the last episode.
I did watch the last episode.
All right,
Oh,
tell
man.
us what happened. Tell us a little bit.
I mean, he caught up
Okay.
on it like literally, I think, before we started recording. so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he should remember
Yeah.
the most then.
Yes. Okay. So essentially, what happened was the sister of the youngest sister of the love interest. I forgot everybody's name.
Sister? I don't know if it's a
I mean, like
sister.
that's just. I would say
They
sister.
call each other
She's not
sisters.
okay. So
Not
I don't
blood-
think
not by
they're not
blood.
related, but she just like was living
They
at the
live
house
together.
that Skasa lived at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she pulled up, and then she doesn't know that the main love interest is married to the MC, NASA.
She just knows that her sister left and she's
Yeah.
trying to get her back. Basically.
Yeah.
So the sister kind of left. Well, the love interest kind of left. So the sister was all like, "Yo,
Skasa.
where you been? Wait, what?"
I was just
Mikasa?
saying her name is Skasa.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Casa. Yeah. So Miss Casa was like,
Skasa. Not Miss Skasa, just Skasa.
Not Mikasa. That's a different show.
it's like Casa just chilling in her apartment. Okay. I mean, I thought it was really kind of. First, I thought it was really kind of cute when she was trying to figure out things to do to make her husband NASA feel really good. So I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But everything was already clean, so she was like,
Yeah, he's like,
why
he's
did-
too capable.
Yeah.
Yo.
So why did she leave?
Good.
She left to do something.
She didn't really leave to do anything. Just that the main character was gonna come back home. And
Yeah,
then
she
the
thought
younger
because she
sister-
heard a knock at the door. She's like, "Oh, that's him." So
Yeah.
he opened
Yeah.
the door.
And then the way that he just got the NASA got captured and then brought into the big house, I thought that was really funny. We got introduced to the maids too. I think
You're skipping all types of stuff here.
I
You're
mean-
skipping everything.
I mean, we don't want to summarize the whole episode. I think gotta watch it for
Alright, go-
themselves.
alright, fine.
I mean, they
go
showed
ahead.
off some of NASA's good points, like how he's
Yeah.
really good at diffusing situations, and he was just beating Chitose in a competition of getting their wills across. So he's just like, let me just diffuse the situation. We'll just go and we'll talk. And it was working for a bit. And then she's just like, nah, I'm just going to snatch you. And then she just ties him up and then throws him in the trunk and then drives away. It is-
And then her big plan is once he gets NASA back to the house, she wants to take pictures, tabloid pictures of him doing salacious stuff and show it to Sakasa to get her to divorce him or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was kind of cute. I will say the best part of the episode to me was just trying to figure out what her whole deal is and her backstory. I think that was the
See,
best part of the
and that's like I said,
Yeah,
we're on
you're
record
right.
before with Nokrin saying that her backstory isn't going to be that big of a deal, but
It is on
they're
record.
clearly building it up to be something with the
Yeah.
whole moon rock thing and Chitose being well, you don't know who she is and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
my theory is that she's gonna end up being some form of Kaguya Hime, the moon princess that somehow is on Earth now.
That's too on the nose.
I
Should be
mean,
an
I
alien.
feel like that's what it's going for though, especially because every time she's related to the moon, his whole first interaction with her is the whole big moon. The freaking show is called Over the Moon for You.
Yeah.
I'm there's gotta be I mean, she's got
Yeah,
the moon
okay,
rock.
yeah.
I'm she's gotta be the moon princess, right? That would make so much sense. It would be pretty on the nose, but it would make so much sense.
Doesn't
though.
she leaves and never comes back or something? Or am I just tripping? Or that's a different
Well, that's
story?
what
that's the
isn't that
myth.
what
That's
Chitose
the-
said?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Maybe? I just know that something about her never coming back. Or am I just thinking of a different folklore story?
Oh, her and the dude in the story, I forget what his name is. They get separated, and I don't remember the
You're talking about
actual
the myth?
story well enough.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Overall, I think I actually really enjoyed this episode. I will say
I liked this episode because he was trying to figure out a way to propose all last or near the end of the last episode, I guess. So
Mhm.
when they're running away from the mansion and they come out into this church, she's like, oh yeah, this is where the church people used to escape or something from war or whatever. And then he proposes right there, and then they share their first kiss. I was like, oh, my
Yeah,
heart.
that was pretty cute.
that was pretty sweet. I will say the one gripe I had was when the middle school was like, I should have married her, and I was like, nobody.
Well,
told me
I mean,
that.
you can
Sister-
tell that's a freaking child having a tantrum and being overreacting to a situation and not knowing how to deal with
Yeah.
it properly.
Yeah, I know.
That was
I
just
know.
that's my assumption on that. It's just her. That's how she's she doesn't know how to cope with the fact that like this big sister figure that she's had living with her for who knows how long. We don't actually know.
I don't know.
She
I've
just
just
like
seen the
up and left one day and decided to marry this random guy that she's never met before, that she like just has known for such a short amount of time, and that's the only way she could like process all of those emotions. So
I mean, I get it, but like just the whole thing about her, like, I should have married her. To me, that I've seen that trope so many times. When
I
the
don't think it's
youngest sister,
that.
it's not that big of a deal. Don't get me wrong, it's not that big of a deal. But like, it's like I just see that trope before, like other romance shows when like the youngest sister doesn't like the MC because of whatever reason, and then she's like, oh, I should be with the with your girlfriend slash oldest sister. I've seen that trope before.
yeah, okay, I can definitely see that, but it definitely doesn't seem like something where she's actually like would actually be like actively trying to get
Oh yeah, no,
and
that's not gonna happen. Yeah.
like break up their relationship so she could be in the relationship. So
Yeah, she's not gonna be like a public menace. Well, I hope she won't be. But yeah, she don't. It doesn't seem like that vibe. It just like that irritated me a little bit. But it's whatever. It's not a big deal. It's still a really great show, and I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. Like I'm really like unironically look forward to each episode.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I love it.
oh
All
man,
right, I'm making an executive decision over here. I don't know if y'all can see it.
no,
Oh,
I
I saw
can't.
it.
Changing
And
the
I'm
order.
fine. I'm fine with this decision. That's
The
fine.
order has been changed of the next show we will be talking about and the one after that.
oh man,
All
we're
right.
talking
So
about talent.
the next show we're gonna be moving on to right now is Talentless Nana, and before we get into the actual anime, I just want to bring up because I think I mentioned before that like when I was talking about this show, I don't even remember when it was, but I was like, there's no more chapters of the manga. I'm waiting for more chapters of the manga. I found more chapters of the manga. I was just not looking in the right places, and I found them specifically on Crunchyroll manga. That's where I read it, and I was on like stuck on chapter 40 for the longest time, and I was like, ah, man, I just want the story to be continued, but there's no more. And it was like up to chapter 54 or something like that. So there was like 14 more chapters for me to catch up on. I was excited. I read all of them in one sitting, and
Wow.
oh man, the place that this manga is at right now is pretty exciting. The dynamics in the story have changed a lot, and stuff is happening right now, and I'm excited, especially because there's one like pretty big twist and surprise that's happened that obviously I can't say because it's a huge spoiler, especially for people that are only watching the anime. So I definitely can't spoil it. But man, it completely shocked me because I was not at all expecting it to happen, nor did I think they even needed to do that. But they did it, and I was excited for it. But now we can go back to talking about the anime.
Hold up, right? Hold
Yeah.
up. Before we do that, hold up. That's actually a really good sign because I was kind of scared watching the anime that like it was just gonna be like a
It's
detective
gonna run out
show.
of gas at some point.
Yeah, but if you're
Yeah.
telling me that
Oh, it
ends,
does
like,
not. It
does
it
not.
keeps the juice because they know how to like change up the dynamics. Like one thing I kind of mentioned before we started recording, I mentioned this Nokrin, and I guess it's like just on the periphery of being a spoiler, but like the whole time I'm watching or reading like the beginning of the show, I'm cheering for Nana. Like I'm trying to cheer for Nana because she's the main character, but like clearly so far she's kind of the bad guy because she's just
Yeah.
been like killing people, and almost and so far besides like we've kind of seen some stuff in the most recent episode that we'll get to that maybe the next one maybe it might not be so like unjustified, but like so far the other ones have kind of seemed a little unjustified, just killing these two random dudes. So she's kind of the bad guy, so I'm like, it's so hard to cheer for her because she's like, yeah, she's literally just murdering these people. But I'll just say that as the manga continues, they make it like easier for you to cheer for her as the hero of the story. So I'm not going to say how or why, but they just make it a little bit easier. You feel a little less guilty cheering for her as it goes on. So
Cause like normally I just be looking at all these things none have been doing. And I'm like, yo, she's a monster. She's a demon.
Yeah, and it's understandable. That's understandable. But she does definitely get some development. So, But
Well,
okay, now
we're getting
going back
into
to
the
episode,
actual
yes.
episode here.
Going into the episode.
So, okay, so this episode starts off with Kyoka, the white hair dude. He just got attacked. Kyoya? Okay, Kyoya, the white hair dude, just got attacked by Nana, but he doesn't know it. Well, he suspects it, but he doesn't know it. So he kind of is explained to the class the next day, oh yeah, I was attacked. There are definitely enemies here somewhere. And they're kind of just brushing him off like, nah, that doesn't sound right to me. You must be delving in conspiracy theories or something. It's like, okay. And then we're introduced to this new girl who's in the same class, in a different class. I don't know. She looks younger, but I think she's in the same class.
Yeah, I think she's in the same class.
I don't quite remember what her name
Inukai. Michiru.
Okay.
I just call her healing lady. That's what I call her.
You should just call her Michiru.
Okay.
Michiru.
Okay, so that's whatever. So that's her ability, is that she heals people. So basically, Nana kind of saves her, quote unquote, saves her from like some embarrassment when some of the other girls were gonna bully her and like act like some boy asked her out when no one did. So Nana saves her, and then they go out, and Nana's studying up on her, reading her power, whatever, and whatever. What is her name again? You just said it.
Michiru.
Wherever Michiru licks becomes healed, right? That's her ability.
Yep.
So now Nana's about to go out in the middle of the night.
Oh,
and,
wait, before you continue, another point that they mention whenever she uses her ability, first of all, she can only heal parts that she can lick, so she can't heal her own back because she can't lick her own back. But also, whenever she heals something, it takes part of her own life force.
Okay. I didn't know if that was important, but I guess maybe later.
I mean, it's just a point that they
did say it. Yeah, they did
specifically made in the episode. So
yeah, they made
I just thought I'd mention it.
All right, so Nana is leaving with a pointy stick, like a spear. I don't know what they called it. Basically, a stick with a nail at the end of it. She tucks it into her pocket or whatever, and is leaving. And then my boy Ryoka or whatever, Kyoka, what is his name? Kyoya. Kyoya is chilling outside the door, and he's like, "Where you going? Where you going this late at night, huh?" I don't even remember what she says. What is her excuse?
Well, she never explains where she was trying to go. She's just like, "Why are you sitting outside my door?"
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, there's enemies afoot. I'm just sitting here to protect you." Or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, okay." She just kind of goes back in, and then
I'm gonna play some music. It's gonna be really loud, so she just blasts some music.
She blasts some loud ass music, and then Ryoya.
Kyoya.
Sorry, Tim. We're really pronouncing that.
That's why. Okay. Let's That's why I linked all of the shows here. You can literally click on it and go and pull up the character names.
I was wondering why you did that.
Really? It's so easy. Just click on the link, go to the character list. You can see all the characters.
Yo, low key, I thought they were just there to show. Oh, we've done this show. Oh,
I thought he was just flexing. Anyways, Kyoya sees her dipping out the window, running towards Michiru. So he pulls up after. Well, okay. So he pulls up a little late. So what he pulls up to is Nana has a hole in her. What is it? Her back?
It's like her side. It's like backside. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nana got stabbed in her side, and Michiru is like licking it to like help her or whatever. And they Nana comes up with this lie that there was a monster about to attack her, and she could hear the thoughts of the monster coming from Michiru, and that's why she left in such a hurry, and she ended up getting stabbed, and Michiru of course saves her. So that's what she explains to the class the next day. So now everybody's like, "Oh shit, this shit is real." So they're like, "Oh, we need to elect a leader. My man Nana, he ain't coming back. He's probably gone." So I don't know who did. Oh, I think Michiru said, "Oh, Nana should be our leader." And everyone just immediately agreed. I don't know why so easily. But everyone agreed. So now Nana's the leader. So now she's like, "Okay, I got control of both sides now. I can just lie and make up enemies at will because I can just say they're invisible and shit." So now she's like, she got this shit. And Kyoya, he can think back, but he can't figure out what reason she would have to kill everybody. So
that's his biggest downside is he super suspects her, but he just can't ever come up with a motive. So because
he doesn't know the way the world works. He doesn't know that everyone hates these progenies.
Basically,
Everyone wants the government
bro.
sent them to this death island to be systematically killed one at a time, essentially.
He's so close. He's so damn close.
He's so close. Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, because he knows. I mean, he knows what it is, but he's just like, I can't implicate her because why would she do that? It doesn't make any sense.
And so that leads to the next scene where Nana's pulling up to the boys' dorm for some reason, and there's this one boy waiting for her. I can see his name here now that I have it pulled up. Sunekichi. I can't pronounce it, but I can see it. Sunekichi was sitting there waiting for her. And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, what are you doing over here? She's like, I don't even remember what she said, some bullshit. He's like, oh, I'll let you get a little taste of my ability here. I can see into the future with these pictures. And he pulls out a picture of himself being stabbed by Nana in like the gym locker room.
Strangled.
Strangled?
Yeah,
I thought it was stabbed.
He's being strangled. He got like a rope around his neck. It's like a jump rope or something like that.
Yeah, he was being strangled, and he's like, yeah, and then he kind of goes and he kind of goes to dinner. He's like, all right, let's go get some food, whatever. And then he kind of shows another picture of Nana getting food on her face, and she's like, okay, I just won't sit here, and she has a plan basically where she's gonna tell the person to go back and bring a different meal so that she doesn't get that food spilled on her face. But of course, the lunch lady still spills it on her or whatever when she's walking away. So like he's showing that his fortunes are 100% accurate, which is kind of crazy because this dude knows that she's a murderer, and I don't know why. And he's gonna get murdered, and he knows he's gonna get murdered, and he's kind of chill about it.
Yeah, that's one thing. He's just like he's using this to its fullest for some reason, but he's just like. He literally just proved like that it always happens, so that means this guy's gonna die.
Yeah, he knows that he can't avoid it.
It doesn't make sense.
It's like, is he gonna rat? Is he gonna tell somebody what's about to happen?
I mean, you would assume there's some kind of blackmail play coming around.
Yeah, so we'll see next episode what's gonna go down. We don't really know.
I think the biggest part of that is like not only because he was like, why are you trying to kill me? And she's kind of just playing it off like, I have no idea. I don't know why that would ever be, why it would ever happen. And then he's like, well, you are a murderer. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he pulls out a picture of her pushing Nato off the cliff.
He a picture of the first kill. He had a picture of the first kill. I was like, wait, how long is first of all, how long has he had this picture? Because he can see into the future, not the past. So he must have had this before the first episode even finished.
Yeah, exactly. So he knew, but for some reason, like he
didn't
just kept this like, close to the vest.
And man, he deserves to die after that. He deserves to die if he didn't tell nobody after he saw the first guy getting murdered. What an idiot.
When I saw this picture, I was like, yeah, nah, he's gonna go down and do your thing. Like I wasn't.
I mean, also he kind of like I alluded to, he doesn't really seem like the best dude. Like, I don't know. He just seems kind of like a, like she was calling Kyoya an F-boy before. Like,
yeah, he seems basically like an actual F-boy.
I mean, like in I think it was the last episode, not this one, she was like literally said that he seemed like that, and he was like, I don't know what that means, and she was trying to explain it. Like, this dude kind of seems like that. Like,
so
he seems like
F-boy just fuckboy? Is that what it is? Because I wasn't sure, and then I talked to some other guys, and they made it sound like it was obvious, and I was like, I thought it meant something else. I thought it was like femboy. I don't know, man. I don't know what F-boy is. But whatever.
Well, so, but yeah, that's what this guy seems like. He doesn't seem like the most courteous person either. Like, seeing how he was just like banging on the door to get into the lunch hall.
He's like, I know someone's in there. I was like, dang.
Yeah, I was like, come on, dude, let this lady go. Let this lady sleep, man.
The lunch lady in there feeding them at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this guy might deserve what he has coming to him. He might. Yeah.
I'm curious. Again, I'm curious to see what will happen in the next episode. I feel like I say this every time we talk about this show. But
like every single episode, Nana is like, she's like winning, but I feel like she's getting like deeper and deeper like in trouble. I just feel like
I think this manga / anime does a really good job of like kind of having that suspense of you like wondering like, oh man, how is she gonna get out of this situation? Yeah. Like how is she gonna like be able to solve this problem?
Very convenient that like the people she's fighting always have like the most like You would think the best powers to beat her. One guy can like
Literally see the
go back to
future.
the past. One guy can see into the future. One guy can negate anybody's powers. One guy's fucking invincible. Like all of these people got like the most busted powers that should be able to easily surpass her. But no, she finds a way, I guess. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see what her way is.
all
this
that
time.
ingenuity.
Where does it leave her?
Oh man.
Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know where it'll leave her.
Yo. Oh man, y'all excited?
Now
for
on to the best anime of the season. I'm
Go ahead,
standing on a
Stephan.
million lives.
Take him away. Take him away. What you think
Oh
of this
my
show?
god, where do I start with this show, man? Another banger of an episode. I can almost remember one thing that happened, almost.
Dang, look at this character list. There's 6 characters.
Yeah. No one matters. They're in a video game. Everybody's just NPCs.
I guess that's true. They don't even.
Okay, does anyone remember what happens?
Oh yeah, I do. I kind of.
Yeah, I remember. Well, the episode starts with the basically the flashback to the end of the last episode where Yu is talking to Yotsuya about her past with the like big sister figure that she had that was ugly and killed herself.
Oh yeah, random.
And yeah, that was true. Yeah. That was the thing that happened. And then she's like at the end she's like you gotta help save me, basically, and he's like, okay, I guess. So
And then
like when they wake up,
he chooses not to save her.
well, okay, yes, just give it a couple steps. But in the next morning, they wake up and they're like, they go back to the city they went to before that got like kind of destroyed. They find out that like time works differently in the game world than it does in the real world. That's
and they still have to travel across the whole continent, right?
Yeah.
Their mission is like to
They talk to a
travel.
guy that shows them the map, and it's like the city they have to get to is literally like on the other side of the continent almost. So it would take 30 days by horse to get there. Horse, quote unquote, even though these horses are like dragon things. I haven't seen one regular horse, but 30 days by horse to get there.
and 3 times as long on foot.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, we need horses. And he's like, well, in the next town over, they have this tournament where if you win, the prize is 3 horses, which is perfect.
Perfect.
So they're like, okay, we got to win this tournament. So on the way to the city, they're like, all right, might as well fight some goblins so we can level up. And they are thinking they're scouting out goblins, and Yotsuya's like, all right, there's some human-sized figures. There must be goblins. Let's go get them. And then it apparently turns out that they're all freaking bandits. So the bandits are like, oh shoot, we gotta fight these bandits. And he like slices one of them, and he loses levels because they can't apparently attack any of the humans in the world, which is BS. Which is total BS.
That's kind of how it works, I guess. Right?
So they just try to run away, and I guess Yu tries to make a distraction so they can get away, and she gets snatched up. And
By the bandits.
yeah, so you get snatched up by the bandits, and then the other 2 girls, Hakazaki and Tokikate, apparently. I don't know. I didn't even know her name. Those 2, they're like, oh, we gotta go help her. And then Yotsuya's like, nah. He's like, nah. The best way we can help her is by completing the
Not
mission.
helping her.
And they're like, bro, didn't you just say you were gonna help her out?
If they all
yeah,
get captured by
I
the
am
bandits,
helping.
then they're in trouble. Only one person needs to complete the mission, I think was his point.
Yeah, which I mean, it
he was
makes
like, "This
sense
is the
because
best way
once
to
they
help
complete the mission, then they all get sent back to their world, so she'll be helped in that way. But I mean, that's gonna take 30 days anyway to complete the mission. So
No, but it still doesn't make, because like wasn't like the whole lesson from like 2 episodes ago was the like, oh, I could have helping other people getting stronger, but I've only been thinking about myself.
I think he's been selfish from the beginning. I think he wants to do everything on his own, right?
Nah,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't. It doesn't seem like he really cares, even though he says like in terms of priority, like the what's her name? Yu's life is the highest in terms of priority that he wants to save, and then after that is like Hakazaki, and then the other girl is like, he doesn't even mention her because he doesn't know her as well. So he's apparently cares, but like he doesn't really care about like their mental health, well-being, but just kind of like the physical.
He's just trying to make sure they stay alive, that they get through the game, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
At least one of them is alive to get through the game. But anyways, the other 2 girls didn't agree with that, and they try to get Yu back, and they get the map. Their ass is also captured by the bandits. So now my man Yotsuya's on his own, and he's going to fight and trying to get these horses anyways. He
He enters the tournament. Oh, well, I guess first, I don't remember in what order it happens, but he levels up and like gets a new class and he becomes a mage, but that actually decreases his stats.
He does level. He levels up before he goes to the
It wasn't a mage. It was like a what did they call it?
It was like a support class or a healer.
It was like a creation something. I forget what it is. Because he's dressed in some kind of maybe offensive looking clothing with like the I don't know, like feather headband and something like that.
I didn't know that was what it was going for.
Some racist Native American thing.
Yeah, I'm like, that could be probably offensive, but we'll just move on. But like, yeah, so he gets a new class and then he enters the tournament and he's like, all right, let's do this. And he's going up against this knight. And he gets his ass kicked in like 5 seconds, I think it was. Yeah, and he gets killed in 5 seconds.
It's like, dang, you killed him?
Yeah, she killed him. She slit his throat.
Yeah, she literally killed him. Yeah.
And then he revived. And she's like, good thing you revived her. That would have been an issue.
She's like, damn, I'm so glad you're a hero.
Yeah. So basically he's just like, he begs her. He's like, yo, is there any way you can give us those horses or anything? And
he says he just wants one of the horses. He says, I just need one.
Yeah, he's like, let me at least just get one horse. And she was like, well, I mean, maybe for some information we can give you something.
No. That wasn't it. What happened was it was like, sorry, she won the tournament, right? And then like I need 3 horses. And she was like, nah, I can give you 3 horses, but I can give you 1. And she was like, okay, well then what can I do for 1 horse? And they're like, yeah, you can help me with the bandits. Like you just
well, he was the one who brought up the bandits. She didn't mention the bandits. She was like, we just need subjugation quests. And then he was like, oh, I got one for you. I got a bandits. And then they're like, oh, bandits. Okay.
Even better. Let's go.
Yeah. And of course he knows where their hideout is because he can see the other members of his party on the map. So he knows where they are. So before they set out to attack the bandits, he trains a little bit with the knight. Her name is Kabel. Yeah, so he trains with her. Also, just realized she's voiced by Chiwa Saito. Love Chiwa Saito. Just had to mention that. So he trains with her a little bit. And then they move on to like storm the bandit stronghold. But before that, they show like the bandits were like getting ready to go into the cage and like I guess assault the girls that were captured. And you're like, they kind of showed that. You're like, oh, is he gonna make it in time? But then like they cut away and then they cut back and they're all untied in the cage and the bandits are sitting outside and they have like marks on their faces and stuff from getting smacked around. And I was just like, oh, that's actually kind of a funny thing that they did there. That they tried to pull something, but they literally just like they put the kibosh on that real quick. And I was like, okay, that's a funny little thing that they just kind of did in passing. So I'll give them that props for that right there. But yeah, so they storm the stronghold and they're kind of kicking the bandits' butts, and then they release this huge dude who's called a berserker. And he like starts rocking people or something,
I think, and then he became like a monster himself.
Yeah, something like that.
Something.
But he starts rocking people. And then he fights against Kabel like 1-on-1, and she's like he gets the upper hand on her because her stamina kind of gives out. And then Yotsuya is able to use like his new skill to kind of like.
Before we get there, was she getting like turned on or something in the fight? Like,
I don't know, turned on. I just know that she likes to. She likes to
like
slice people up.
Vibes.
At least.
I was like, what is like?
The opposite.
She was like getting into it. I was like, what is going on?
I was like, it came out of nowhere too. I didn't understand where that came from. It was like she was kind of relatively normal the entire episode.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird character thing that they just kind of threw in there. I think it's kind of a little bit shown a little bit more. Like I did read this one chapter of the manga, and I do think they kind of mention it a little bit beforehand in that, and they didn't really bring it up that much. Like I remember while she was training, she was like enjoying like getting to like kind of smack around this hero.
She's an S-type.
Yeah, so she's having fun fighting the berserker, but then like the berserker gets the upper hand, so Yotsuya has to jump in, use his new ability, which is like like super persuasion basically. So he's like, hey, there's somebody behind you trying to attack you. So it turns around and swings at nothing, and then he's able to like, what does he like stab it or something? I forget.
I don't remember how he
I think like
beats it.
somebody helps. I think like somebody
helps him.
No, because he gets in there and he does something to it. I think he stabs it and then he gets destroyed and killed in one shot. But then it makes enough of an opening for Kaabel to finish it off and like slice its head off or whatever. And that's the end of them being the bandits. And then basically it just moves on to, they didn't get enough horses, but they got like some carriage thing or whatever to make it to the city that they need to get to. In
exchange for the Kahabel, the knight coming with them, they got I think they got all the horses. I think they got 3 or 4 horses, and they got a carriage that can carry everybody, so everybody can come.
So and Kahabel is also, she's like, I'll escort you, but I want to be able to train all of you too. So
also, even though 2 of them are mages, and
I mean Yotsuya is also like, you know, technically like farmer / cook / whatever else he is. So
he's not a knight.
There's only one person that's like actually like a warrior knight person. So but so she's like, I get to train all of you. And also I'll escort you to the city that you're trying to get to. And that's basically where the episode leaves off. So
initially looking at the opening, I thought that there was going to be another person introduced, like from the real world. But now I'm realizing it's just Kahabel. So they might be doing this quest for the rest of the show, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you make a good point. You do make a good point there. It looks like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that's what I would think. So I'm not... My hopes were already low. But that has just made them even lower if this is our final cast, because I don't really like this cast.
I don't really like anybody in this cast.
There's not really anybody of these characters that are really likable. Like I guess Yu is supposed to be the most likable because she's like the most like charismatic, but she's not really that likable.
They just
and Hakuzaki's too quiet and doesn't really have a personality herself. And then Tokitate is just annoying. Like, she's just annoying.
You literally described everybody the same way that I was thinking.
I mean, and then we don't even need to talk about Yotsuya. He's just there.
Oh man,
it's looking like a bad Don Machi or something.
Bad Don Machi.
No, bad Konosuba. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, bad Konosuba. Bad.
Just a bunch of not interesting characters.
This is an unironic Konosuba. Like, I don't know. I just feel like.
Yeah, I guess it actually kind of tracks pretty decently as a bad Konosuba.
Yeah. I just feel like I've been lied to, bro. I was expecting some edgy, gritty, dark anime.
It's definitely not that.
And then I'm out here looking some like pseudo like kick cutter. Like, what's the game master? Why is the game master?
I just don't know.
Why is he just
like, if I knew what was gonna happen, like the next episode, I probably would never watch this show again. Like, I still don't really know what this show is doing yet. Like, what is it going for? It's
going nowhere.
Is this
the show? I don't really think it's going for anything. It's just going to end.
It's just chilling. This show is just, things are just happening. You just kind of sit there. You just kind of go with the flow. Like, there's no end goal. There is no progression. Okay, I don't know what's the point of anything.
I mean, the main character.
I'm just trying to see if there's going to be any kind of character development.
Maybe eventually he'll get a good class, and then like some cool stuff will happen.
No, they'll give you another sub story from a different character, and then that's it. Okay, that's all we're getting. Just getting sad stories, like sad stories. Like the only characterization that I can say about Lou is that like she's sad and she was bullied as a kid. The only characterization I can say on Yuka was that she was bullied and she's a nerd. What I can say about the MC is that he's a loner, and what I can say about Hakozaki,
he's a fake loner, though.
Yeah, he is a fake.
I don't know. Is he? He's like a loner by choice. Are you a loner if you're a loner by choice?
And then the only thing I can say about Hakozaki is that she's also a loner. Okay, like legitimately, she's just like everything. Like I
really know like next to nothing about her. I feel like I know less about her than I know about anybody else.
Yeah, but there's nothing to know about her apart from that she's shy and she's kind of a loner.
Yeah, that's about all I can think I remember about her character is that she's kind of shy.
Oh man, I just feel like it's just a waste. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't know why I'm watching this.
Well,
Am
I
just
mean,
watching
this
it 'cause y'all
shows-
are watching this.
I feel like
They're
I'm wasting my time.
they're clearly doing something right since they got all of us watching it and all of us staying caught
It's
up
a
on
bad
it too.
isekai, but it's still an isekai. So
Yes,
I'm
that
still
is
watching
true.
it.
That is
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn
man.
it.
Why do we stand isekai so much, bro? I just went on an
I don't
isekai
know,
tangent
man.
this week. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, let's move on
We're on to our
to-
final show.
I-
God damn,
I-
how long is this
I-
fucking
Juju-
podcast? Anyways,
Okay,
let's finish
Juju-
this. off.
last anime of the week, Jujutsu Kaisen, the best show of the season. I will stand by it unless it's something.
I mean,
so
it is so
surprising.
far. So far, it's the best of the season. I will
Yo,
say.
Also, I think that this episode was
Tony
the
Collins,
best
best of
one
the season.
out of all the other best out of all the episodes.
This
from
episode
this
is pretty
show.
damn good, though.
Yeah, this episode was definitely the best out of for this show specifically because like a lot like his arm got chopped off. We got like Kazuka, whatever, the demon guy just pulled out of nowhere. We've had like everything is falling apart. The horror aspect of like everything just going wrong back to back to back. Like it was so good.
So they went to go stop some womb, right? Some like that was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
birth
called
a
like the
special
cursed womb
type,
or something.
a cursed
they
womb or
weren't
something.
trying to stop it. They were trying to take the people out.
Oh, they were trying to
of this
find the
place.
people.
Oh
right?
yeah,
they were trying to
because
save
they're
the humans.
nowhere near strong enough to actually stop it.
Yeah, even in womb state. And then,
Yeah.
but they pull up and they're like, "Oh, it's not in womb state no more. This is a full on special class shit. We got to get the fuck out of here." And then the one
Yup.
chick disappears. And she just gets sucked into a hole.
Yo,
Yeah, she's
the
sucked on the
dog,
floor.
the dog got beat up to
Yo,
oblivion.
Fushiguro's
Yeah.
dog
They're
was like
they're like
murked.
the demon dog should have warned us, and it's just like smashed into a wall. You're like, oh, oh.
Oh god, like everything's back to back. Then like she gets absorbed into some abyss, and then before they even have time to associate to see what's going on, you have the special demon just right behind him.
Yeah, he just
like,
popped up.
Just
It's like
just-
starting a game like if you're playing Mario, you go into World 1-1 and Bowser's just there immediately.
Just standing
That's
on your
basically
back.
what it was like.
Like it was so like nobody could do anything. The MC's arm got chopped off. His like the other arm started deteriorating when the special class demon came
Yeah,
in.
so the MC basically was telling the other two to like get the fuck out of here. I'ma unleash the beast on this whore, but y'all gotta get back because he gonna unleash on y'all if y'all are too close.
Yeah, he literally like Skuna. He's talking to Skuna. He's like, as soon as you release me, as soon as you give me control, I'm killing Fushiguro
killing
first.
him,
I'm killing
I'm
him
killing
first,
her,
and then I'm
I'm
finding
leaving
her,
this dude
and I'm
alive.
killing her.
I was like, dang.
He's like, yeah, I'm taking them out, and even eventually they're able to. Fushiguro's able to find Kugasaki, and get her out of there, and get them both to safety, and give Itadori the signal. So he switches with Skuna, and then Skuna is immediately just like, you know what? How can I mess with him the most? All right, let me bring this guy. Let me bring this curse, and let's just go outside and mess with them outside. And he's like, all right, follow me. Let's go. But the curse is like freaking out because it's all like, yo, this guy's way too strong. I'm scared. So it like tries to blast Skuna, and Skuna's like, come on, man. Are you dense? Are you dumb? It's like, you don't know your place, man.
And then he's like, "Oh man, the curse probably can't leave its home anyways.
Yeah.
I might as well
He's
just
like,
finish him here. Might as well play some games with him."
Yeah, it's like might as well just kill him here. And he's like literally the freaking the curse is trying to fight back, but he can't even lay a scratch on Skuna, which not to mention he healed Itadori's body. He like healed his hand back and then
Accidentally,
healed
he's
the
like,
fingers.
"Oh, I didn't mean to heal that one."
Yeah, he's like, I didn't mean to heal that. I did it by reflex. Oh well. And then he like uses like some special like what is like barrier or something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, like some kind of
Expansion.
curse zone
Something
stuff.
Yeah, I forget what they're called, but those are actually important for like
Yeah, they're pretty important.
later on. I forget what they're called though. We'll hear about them more as the story goes on. But then he like slices the curse up into a bunch of pieces and blows it like lights it on fire and destroys it. And it just like like this dude didn't even break a sweat. Like they were getting rocked. Like
and he's like, oh, I'll take this, and it turns out one of the fingers was inside.
Yeah,
the curse,
yeah,
so
he had
now
one
he's
of the
got
fingers inside of him,
Sukuna's
which is
fingers.
probably leads to why it was like so strong and like the grade was so high. But then it basically the episode ends with like after he defeats the curse and everything, then Sukuna's like, all right, go ahead and switch back now. And he's like, go ahead. And I thought it was kind of funny that he was just like willing to just let him switch back and just be okay with it. He's like, all right, you can switch back. But then there's no response from Itadori. So he's just like, and then Sukuna just has like a twisted smile on his face because he's like, oh, I got him now. I got him now.
Man, he gonna go out there and he's gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And then Fushiguro ended up sending off what's her name?
Kugisaki.
Yeah. He ended up sending her off with the one guy to go to the hospital. He's like, oh well, I'm gonna have to finish him off myself if he goes crazy here. So now I don't know what's about to happen this next
now it's
episode.
It's setting up for him to go back and fight against Sukuna Itadori.
And they already said last episode that somebody dies. So
yep,
you know,
they did
I guess
say
we'll
that.
See
they
what
did
happens
say
with
that. So.
I actually can't wait. I think next episode is gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be crazy. Tim and I know it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's
like,
gonna be a little crazy.
I will say though, I actually do like the fact. I mean, the fact that like whatchamacallit, like Itadori couldn't like control the demon, or like how Sukuna could like to control makes perfect sense, right? Because
I guess because he was getting his ass beat before, maybe.
Huh?
Was it because he was getting his ass beat before?
Yeah, because he was getting his ass beat. Like he had a like.
Yeah, I think basically is like his consciousness, like he lost consciousness, like his version. So it was like the only thing that was keeping Sukuna in check was like his own willpower. But I think like he was just running on fumes fighting against that curse because he was getting slammed through walls and blasted and stuff. So as soon as he was able to switch and not like have to keep up the willpower to like keep fighting, I assume like he just lost consciousness. So now his willpower is not there to hold Sukuna back, so he can't fight back against him right now. So I assume that's what happened.
Yeah, I also assumed that like since like. Because, like, my man Itadori during the entire episode was going through a midlife crisis. Like, this man was, like, crying. Like,
yeah, he's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Oh, yeah, he started folding at some point. I was like, he's a real person.
Yeah.
The whole time he was jumping through concrete walls, I was like, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I do like the fact that, like, that was shown, and I feel like that also had a big impact into why he couldn't bring Sukuna out, because, like, this man just couldn't do it. Like, you know, like he was just like, oh, I'm weak, I can't do anything, might as well let somebody who is strong. I don't know, that's my headcanon though. That's my headcanon theory. But I mean,
you can also though, like, even though he shows like real human, like his human side about like, even though he's been doing some kind of crazy stuff, he's still doing crazy stuff in this episode because he's surviving getting like slammed through the walls and blasted blasted all hell stuff like
getting his arm chopped off, and he was just kind of chilling afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Like really everybody else, like anybody else would probably have like died or like just been unconscious way long before that. But he's like getting up. He's able to like channel some like cursed energy into his fist and like throw a punch at least. Like it doesn't do anything, but he's at least able to like do that much. So I'm like, this dude is still crazy. Like even in a situation where he's getting his ass handed to him, he's still crazy. It's insane.
Man, I just love this show, man. I like where it's going.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Isn't this 24 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, how far are they going to get? Okay, to be fair, though, I recognize a lot of the people in the intro, so I feel like they can't get too far ahead.
Well, but I also assume if it's a 24 episode show, there's going to be 2 intros.
Oh, boy. Yeah, yo. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
That's what we're looking forward to. It's the next opening.
Yeah, looking forward to the next opening to see which characters are in it, to see how far it gets to.
I just want to hear the song. That's what I'm interested in.
I love the show, bro. I'm really enjoying the show. I think this is like top. Obviously, it's top, but like, I just feel like it's like one of the best things I've seen, like for the past couple.
Yeah, they're doing a magnificent job of translating it from manga to anime.
Yeah, I literally have no complaints.
It's very good pacing. Very good pacing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like I was scared it was gonna be fast because I remember reading the manga and I was like, wow, this is really fast paced. But like I
Yeah, definitely, because of this part that's happening right now. That like it happens, and you're just like, wow, that they did that so early. Oh, okay.
Hey, let me watch the show. Damn it!
Hey, I didn't spoil anything. All right.
Yeah, he didn't spoil anything. Actually,
I don't like the illusions. I don't like illusions either.
I mean,
illusion.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. So this episode that just came out was called like the Cursed Moon Must Die Part 1, and the next one is like Cursed Moon Must Die Part 2. I'm pretty sure there's only 2 parts of that. So this arc is gonna end in the next episode, and then you're gonna move on to the next arc, which is.
That means I should probably get this podcast out by Friday. Shit.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because man, I'm excited for the next episode. Ooh, that next episode is gonna be good. That's all I know. It's gonna be good.
Sexy. It's gonna be so sexy. Yo, I thought what was gonna happen next episode was gonna happen this episode, but I'm glad they separated it into 2 parts.
Yeah. I think it makes sense to separate it.
Oh man, you gonna like this episode? You gonna like the next one too?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh man, I will. Yeah, like I'm just really excited, bro. I'm really excited for what's about to happen next. Like, oh man, do you have anything else you want to say?
Like,
I think that's enough fangirling over
Jujutsu
Kaisen, and that's the end of our weekly anime updates, and it's also the end of this podcast. Any how y'all feeling? Is this a longer one? I don't know if this is longer than.
I think I've mentioned this before. Every single recording has been 2 hours, so this one is also 2 hours. And you know why this one's
making a really good time.
Well, actually, I'm not gonna say it, but I mean, it's just about on par with the other ones. So
I mean,
I thought we were making really good time at one point, and then it just it
got away from us. But like that's what I'm saying. Like as soon as we start talking about the weekly shows and we're like explaining what happened in the episode, it just takes forever.
We're like halfway through it, and I was like, "Oh man, we're doing good." And then we got to the stuff we've all seen.
Yeah, as soon as we get to that,
we all got something to
start
say.
Going.
I don't know, y'all really talked.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The dad became a god, and Higurashi.
Well, especially Higurashi.
Higurashi
definitely warrants discussion.
Yo, man,
there's a lot going on in that show.
Oh boy.
Well, thanks for joining us for another week. Next week is episode 0. We almost starting, boys. We almost starting.
That's kind of good. It feels really good. I'm not gonna lie.
It does, doesn't it?
Starting from 0, re-0.
Starting from 0, re-0.
Oh,
that's the episode name.
Should that be the quick review, the quick rank?
Oh yeah, look out for our full rank on Darling in the FRANXX coming up after at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Anything else coming up? I think maybe an AMQ night. Hey,
yo,
AMQ is. Look forward.
I'm just gonna lose. That's what's gonna happen.
Hey, it's all right.